Yikes.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the stream. We are live with the T5S2 Season 2 Pod 22 finals between two stream newcomers. This is Davit over here in the red playing Orks. I think appropriately red because we do have some evil sons seeing the table today alongside some death skulls. Versus Barkeeper in the blue playing some classic Harlequins. To criticize the Orc play, I have Shuma here on the mics with me. How's it going, Shuma?
Pretty good. I will do my best to criticize.
Good. Perfect. Yeah, we know how hard that is for you, and how much you dislike criticizing people. So we'll try. Hopefully, it's not too difficult.
My normal optimistic self is really gonna just run up against the wall of this. No, actually, I like this Orc list.
Yeah,
so, you won't see a ton of criticism.
It's a wild Orc list. It's yeah. I'm excited to see what it does on the table because it is super cool. But yeah, speaking of the Orc list, I guess we should talk about it. We'll go through the list here real quick.
Let's do it.
So Davit's list, he is playing two patrols. One, a Death Skulls patrol being led by a classic Super Smash War Boss, a War Boss and a War Bike. With Brutal but Cunning, biggest boss. He's got the Dakilla Claw. He's ready to go smash some stuff up with that big ol' 4 damage.
Like the guy.
We have a Warpad Weirboy with the Jump and Fists of Gork, as well as a unit of 30 boys with a Kill Saw on the boss knob there. We have 2 units of commandos in that detachment to probably perform some actions, grab some some engage on all fronts, and 2 units of race cars. We have 3 scrap jets, so the rocket race car with the corkscrew custom job, so they get to fight 2 times every time they fight, which is pretty sick. As well as a unit of 2 shock jump dragsters with their custom job as well, which lets them teleport automatically. Is that right?
It does. Yeah, without having to roll.
Very nice. We also have, I think, sort of a later addition to the Orc toolkit here. A unit of 3 Def Dreads, all with 3 custom Mega Blasters and 1 Claw to give them a little bit of punch in melee. I think a lot of times you see these guys with the 4 custom Mega Blasters, but not today. And they have the Sparkly Bits custom job so that they get +1 to their ballistic skill. So those Mega Blasters, especially in an Evil Sons detachment, since every single one of them splits off with the Vehicle Squadron rules, they will all get that Death Skulls reroll.
Death Skulls detach.
What's that? Oh, did I say?
Death Skulls detach.
Did I say Evil Sons?
You did.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Yeah, that would not be very good in Evil Sons. But it is
be pretty terrible.
Yeah, they get extra distance to charge, right? There you go.
Yeah, and they can advance they can advance without suffering the penalty. Oh. You know, it's not meaningless. Like Death Skulls would be, or Evil Sons. You're right. It's easy to do. Evil Sons would be the second best faction to take them in.
It's almost like Evil Sons is the second
Maybe
best
third.
Orc sub-faction. You know?
Or Bad Moons. All they needed to do was give Bad Moons 2 other abilities on top of reroll ones, and then they could have competed.
We also have a Burn Obama in that detachment as well. Moving on, we have an Evil Sons detachment. This one's a little bit of an awkward Evil Sons detachment, I think. It's not very Evil Sunny, but it does do some other stuff. It's a patrol detachment led by a Big Mech with a custom force field. 10 Gretchen, those scary Evil Sons Gretchen that don't get any benefit from it. 2 Def Coptas, which I think are the reason for it being an Evil Sons detach. That gives them a little bit of extra speed, and they can advance and shoot their big shooters without penalty. Not that really does too much, to be honest. But the headliner of the detachment are 2 units of 3 big mechs, or mech guns, with smasher guns. So the custom force field is going to be able to affect those guys and give them a 5+ invulnerable save, which is slightly better than the 6+ invulnerable save you would get from swapping them over into the Gretchen specialist attachment.
22-inch advance on the Def Coptas in Evil Sons, which pretty good for engage. You know, pretty good for snagging backfield objectives or just contesting if someone's holding an objective with a single character or a single vehicle. But that's opposed to a 20-inch outside of Evil Sons. So,
right.
You know, really hoping we're getting some mileage out of those 2 inches versus, you know, a free 6-up invuln and reroll 1s on the Smasher Guns.
Yeah, the reroll 1s seem so hard to pass up. But you are out of fast attack slots in the Death Skulls detachment proper, so You would need to open some stuff up there if you wanted to switch those Deathcopters out, but you would obviously lose the speed. Yeah, so interesting orc list, very much an MSU, like a multiple small unit style, and I'm really interested to see how it plays. Looks like it's very keyed towards playing secondary objectives very well, and kind of focusing on the smasher guns to actually kill anything, because outside of them and the vehicles, there's not a lot of really hard-hitting units in this, and it's a lot of anti-tank, so it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with the sort of more life and lightly armored Eldari that are usually able to fade a lot of anti-tank shooting.
Yeah. Depends on how long they're allowed to shoot, but the scrapjets themselves put out quite a bit of anti-infantry shooting. The burner bomber can source a good amount. True. And, I mean, boys themselves are like... You know, if anything's anti-infantry, especially anti-not marine infantry, like boys will wash a player's unit.
Yeah, I definitely.
They'll just take them to the tub.
I mean, the orc boys. Not only are they good at killing Harlequins, but I think unfortunately for them, the Harlequins are also pretty good at killing orc boys. So we'll see how they're going to be able to do at doing that. I think a lot of they're because there's only one unit of them. They're probably going to be just. Mitigated or left to sort of objective holding job, the objective holding job, rather than being able to play aggressively. But
I'm interested to see how this list ends up playing. There's a few things that I would have thought would have been done differently. Like you'd think that the boys and the weird boy would be grouped into the sub-detach to give them to give the boys the easier 9-inch to jump charge, for instance. But keeping them in the Death Skulls attached does give them the 6-up invuln, which, it's otherwise hard to ever get a save on boys.
Right.
So there's definitely some value that can still be maintained in there.
Yeah, it's not the easiest unit to take out. 30 wounds through an invulnerable save and toughness 4 is still something. It's not a lot, but it's something.
A 6-up will still end up saving 5 of them.
Yeah. So really, it's like 35 and a 6th orc boys. Because they got an extra wound in there. So, pretty cool. Let's move over to the Harlequins list. It's not a particularly shocking list. I don't think anyone's going to be...
No shock jump dragsters
No shock jump dragsters in this Harlequins list for a change. Tired of these Harlequins playing orc units. It is a Soaring Spike detachment, so are we ready for fusion boats? Because that's what we're going to get. It's led by a Shadow Seer with a pivotal role to take Shield from Harm, and the other one being... I don't know what his other his other role is. I'm sorry. We also have a Troop Master. Is it Veil of Illusion? I don't know if I wrote that down. Oh, it is. Just kidding, everyone. It's Veil of Illusion. Minus 6 inches of range. I don't know why that's even a question. Let's be honest. I must be out of my element today because that's just what you take on Shadow Seers. We also have a Troop Master, the classic Smash Troop Master, Twilight Fang, Darkness Bite combo to deal a bunch of damage. He's a Sky Strider, so he can jump out of transports after they move. He's in Soaring Spite, so he could jump back in the transport after he fights as well. So he's just going to be obnoxious, and he's going to kill a bunch of models. We also have 6 units of players. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 units of them are the full 6. A smattering of caresses and embraces in there, as well as mostly Harlequin blades, and then 2 units of 5. Every single one of them has a fusion pistol, so we aren't dropping a fusion pistol out of these in case their transport explodes or something like that. We're going ham, and we're just going to roll all 6 fusion shots out of each of these player troops. So that's a scary amount of fusion on the table. We also have 1 Death Jester, as well as 2 units of Skyweavers with both Haywire Cannons and Zephyrglaive, 5 Skyweavers each, and last but not least, all the Starweavers to keep them in there. Looks like the players have tied on the roll to go first, so that's exciting.
That means they go at the same time.
Oh, man! So, roll 5 for Harlequins. Orcs beat them with a 6.
That is, they needed that too.
Davit has confirmed he will be taking that first turn. Makes sense to me. I've heard first turn is pretty good in 9th edition 40k. Can you confirm, Shima?
Advancing? Oh, wait.
I'm just kidding. No, it's especially in a matchup where you're composed entirely of light vehicles and your opponent's army is composed entirely of fast-moving fusion guns.
Yeah.
That first turn is not nothing.
Yeah,
some,
for sure. Yeah, especially Harlequins can alpha strike you really hard. What a shock, yeah. Especially in Haywire on the top of that too, right? Like the Haywire will rip through these low wound vehicles pretty quickly.
Yeah, I gotta admit, like, going... I don't think it's hard to point out that this may be a slight stat line matchup folly here for the Orks. I mean, nothing... Yeah, a bit of a mismatch here, but going first will really help against that. Going second, that would have been a tough hill to climb, but now I feel like if they can pull off a good number of hits, kill enough of these Star Weavers, I mean, they'll get good shots into them, and the way that they've just stacked them up here, a Burn-A-Bomba exploding on them,
I think you have missed
that leaves them on 3, at which point a single missile will take them out each.
Yeah.
But, downside there, 3 CP is not a lot of CP to run this kind of Ork list on. These race cars, the Burn-A-Bomba, are very CP intensive. It'll be up to 4 in its first turn, but 1 ramming speed, that's 50% of your remaining CP right there. So it's gonna be a little bit rough.
Yep. Yeah, so
fully utilize this.
There's a question in chat about the combi rocket on the War Boss. That's what the player has in their list that they registered for the event, but it looks like in their battle script with TTS it's not listed, so I think that we are playing without it.
Yeah, might have just copy pasted the previously existing version of the unit. I think before it's legending and then unlegending, the War Boss on bike could take one.
Yeah, it's a confusing data sheet for sure. You got so many through many iterations.
Yeah, well, it's not confusing anymore now that it has 0 options.
Yeah, except for all of the sick warlord traits you can stack onto it to make it an absolute killing machine.
Oh yeah, he is the only Blood Angel Smash Captain left alive.
Unfortunately, he's a biker though, so you can't even double fight him. Terrible. What a garbage model.
Yeah, it is pretty garbage. The natural unbuffed, unmodified 22-inch base move out of Evil Sons on him though, with free re-rolling both or either dice with a +1 to his charge. Still it's okay.
It's all right. It's okay. Yeah, it's just fine.
It's okay.
So we did see the massive redeploy abilities used by the Harlequins here to drop most of their army back behind this obstruction on Objective 4. And the Orks taking their first turn. Not a ton that they can do this first turn. It looks like we're going to send some Smasher Guns into some Skyweavers.
There's quite a bit they can do if he chooses to.
Mm-hmm.
Both these shock jumps could easily pop over here by Objective 2 and start getting side shots in. This Burn-A-Bomba could sink himself right over, maybe on the left side of these Star Weavers, explode, deal 3 wounds to each, taking a wound, or taking half of the wounds off of each one of them, picking up a Skyweaver. And after that, the shock jumps could probably just wash 2 of the a Star Weaver each, which would be a pretty huge hit.
What do you say? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, is there the potential that you overextend a little bit? If you teleport the shock jumps across the table, you throw your Burn-A-Bomba away, and then you lose. And you can expect to lose a couple vehicles just sort of naturally to the Skyweaver shooting on the swing back. But then you're just putting yourself in fusion range pretty easily of the rest of the army.
Possibly, but I mean, I think I would make that trade to pick up 2 to 3 Star Weavers on the first turn.
Sure.
The threat projection of these troops with their fusion pistols is largely going to be based off of these Star Weavers, at least for getting within range for +2 damage.
Yeah,
and that's a big hit to immediately be able to pull off.
Mm-hmm.
Locking them by Objective 4, it's harder for them to get to 2. They have to turn around and deal with both shock jumps, which means that they're moving laterally. They're not moving into your army. They're not shooting your scrap jets off the table, for instance.
Yeah.
They're not moving onto objectives. Then the scrap jets can move out and hit them pretty hard. But you could be right. I mean, that also, you could just be, exploding the Burn-A-Bomber for no reason because then both shock jumps just miss.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you've killed nothing. Well, you've killed one thing. You killed your own Burn-A-Bomber, but...
So...
Also, that's, according to CP.
Something pretty interesting I want to point out here is that Davit has taken Overrun as one of his secondary objectives, alongside Engage in All Fronts, which I think we can sort of anticipate given how obviously this list is designed to score Engage in All Fronts really easily. And then on top of that, he has Deploy Scramblers. Again, 2 units of Commandos, you sort of expect that out of this list. But that Overrun pick, Huh, that's going to be an interesting one. That one, I'm going to refresh my memory on it real quick so I don't misspeak here, but I believe that it gives you points in your command phase for every objective in your opponent's on your opponent's table half that you control, which means that he's incentivized to play super aggressively here. And so he may do what you say and port those shock jumps over to Objective 2 and put Def Coptas on top of it and just try to make it as difficult as possible for the Harlequins to take that back.
Yeah.
I guess that said, they do have a lot of players in those transports they can run over, but, you know.
Yeah, it might be a little bit difficult to do in practice.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit of play he does have with these shock jumps, that though it will be very CP intensive. Like, the shock jumps can teleport for free thanks to their custom job, and then there is a 1 CP strat to just teleport them again after firing.
The gyroscope orc whirly gig.
Yeah, the gyroscope orc whirly gig.
The gyrork scop orc orcly gig.
Orc. Yeah.
Orc.
So there's an interesting maneuver where one of them can teleport and then teleport away again after firing.
Yes, that's the stratagem, right?
Yep. With one with the orc gig and then the other with the strat, which is an interesting maneuver. They also have another one. The Defcopters actually have a native 40-inch move because there is a, I believe, 2 CP strat to just move an Evil Sun's unit a second time.
These are Death Skulls, though.
Or I'm sorry, not Evil Sun's, Speed Freaks unit.
Oh, gotcha.
Those are like so synonymous with each other.
Yeah,
you cannot shoot or charge when you do so, but it's a great way to just fly across the table and get on some far-flung objective.
Yeah.
Or to just escape from something that might be threatening you.
Yeah, that's a pretty classic, stratagem to move twice, and especially for a list that is hinging so hard on getting engaged on all fronts, having that in your tool bag is going to be pretty important. Do you think we did jump the boys out this turn? Do you think we're going for that? Is that the plan? Or do we need them in the deployment zone to hold this back objective? I think you may run the risk of having a Twilight Pathways unit of Skyweavers just run the rampant in your backline if you don't have those boys back there.
Yeah, that could be a risk. I imagine not. Like, outside of Evil Suns, the jump charges are like very risky. And there's not a lot back here. Like, there's not a lot for them, firstly, to even threaten.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, an attempted charge into a couple of Star Weavers? You might maybe kill one.
Sure,
just, like,
chat
leave
is correcting
combat.
you. Drive-by Crumpin is locked to Speed Freak. So Evil Sun's Speed Freaks.
It is Evil Suns only? Okay.
Yes.
So that is... I mean, that is... The Def Cop does still do that, then. Because he picked Evil Suns on...
Right. Yeah, maybe that's one of the reasons that the Def Coppers are in there, so that you can get some insane speed out of them.
Yeah, that gives them a 44-inch move. Although, again, being 4 CP, that is unfortunately a very tough investment. Like,
yeah.
I got to imagine so much of the CP is going to be saved for ramming speeds.
It's I think that it speaks to how powerful the Death Skulls detachment subfaction abilities are, that I've never seen that stratagem used, because that's a really good stratagem. you just get Fire and Fade, but it's at the end of the phase, so it's better.
I mean, you don't. It's so you the Shotgun Draxta has the 1 CP one specific, but you cannot shoot, correct, when you do it before?
No, it's at the end of your shooting phase. You just move, but you can't charge.
Oh.
So it's just a Fire and Fade. Except it's not locked to 7 inches. You can move as far as you want, and it's at the end of the phase, not immediately.
You might not see it very often just because it's a CP investment on single Orc units, and there are almost no Evil Sun Speed Freak units that you would get like net good value out of that for. Like, the hardest hitting unit of that type would be like Knob Bikers, but they don't want to Fire and Fade, they want to charge after firing.
Yeah.
And otherwise you're spending it on like a single race car, which is like kind of a rough investment. I mean, I guess you would do it on the Shockdom Draxtas because then they free teleport, so like that'd be kind of interesting. Both these Draxtas could teleport themselves to 2 take shots, and then one flies away via that strat, and the other one could fly away via its own teleport strat.
Yeah, it's actually.
Were they in Evil Suns?
That's really.
But then
cool.
they're not Death Skulls at that point, so their actual damage output's cut in half.
Yeah, one could be Death Skulls. You just need one of them to be Speed Freaks, or to be Evil.
Well,
Suns.
but that's 2 different fast attack choices at this point.
Yeah.
We're already at a deficit on those.
That's true.
Orcs are a little hard to build with. They're very limited in slot choices. they tend to want to soup pretty heavily because so many of their data sheets are really oriented to use specific subfactions, but it's hard to get the points and just the slots to pull it off.
Yeah. So it looks like we have the one of the drags is at least moving over to objective 6. Do you think we may be pushing on this right flank here instead of trying to grab objective 2? Objective 2 does feel to me like it could be a trap. If you send too much
he's
stuff
already on
over
objective.
there.
Yeah. He's on it with the Def Copter.
Yeah,
although that
he's
Def Copter
one-
is
he's one Def Copter.
not long for this world.
Yeah, he's about to get like one Haywire cannon to the face and die.
Yeah. I suppose every Haywire cannon that shoots a Def Copter is not shooting a Mecha Track Grabjet, though.
That's true. And I think the hope is maybe our Smasher Guns overperform here, and there are no Starweavers or Skyweavers on that unit.
Yeah.
On 6 anymore.
Although that is an interesting hope because they can't currently see them.
It looks like we have
Well, I
two.
guess
We have
one
shots
ca-
from
one
two
can.
of them. I think this one over on the right.
This one
can see
This one.
along the edge here, and then the one of them is touching this dense cover or the obscuring
Yeah.
terrain to see through.
You're probably right. I can't draw out a line. Oh, yep. Looks like we're doing the play.
There
We're
we go.
blowing the bomber.
Flying headbutt. See some explosions.
Where'd the other Drax to go?
It popped but down. It looks like it
oh, no,
teleported to
one.
objective 1. Yeah.
That's
Um,
an odd choice.
Yeah,
Why?
maybe he's not sure that he's going to be able to get the lines of sight he wants, and just wants to keep that one alive for next round.
Yeah. Probably popping this over, firing, fading it out to hide it behind a wall.
There goes the headbutt.
Keeping both. I mean, that is a good play right here. Like, I don't know that I would have. I mean, it's always hard to prepare for that. But stacking these Starweavers in a way that just perfectly allows for them to hit everything is.
Yeah. So we have killed
harsh.
3 Starweavers. We have killed a Skyweaver, which may put this mech gun out of line of sight, unfortunately.
I believe it does.
Yeah. Looks a little tough.
Didn't move those mech guns either, which is odd. They could have moved up. I suppose one moved up. Maybe they were probably pretty constrained in their deployment, actually.
Yeah, and they are slow.
Yeah.
So they don't.
Yeah, well, 3
shuffle
inches.
Very far. Yeah, big old 3
They're-
inches.
Oddly, this artillery piece does move and shoot without penalty, though, because it's a vehicle.
Yep. They don't have to set that gun back up. It's that's why it's so slow.
Yeah.
This measure gun will.
All right, here we go with the smashes.
Starweaver here.
Can
3
we?
shots.
Can they
3
see
shots.
that? Are they
Hitting a
shooting the
force, but
Starweaver back that's behind this
-1, right?
behind this wall? This does not look like a viable
That's all I
target.
can do.
Yeah, 5 then. 1-6. No, 1 hit. Toughness 6 it was, I think. Nothing.
3.
Then I will go on with this measure gun as well into the same.
It does look like he's shooting this one Starweaver, but I don't think he has line of
Shots.
sight to it.
That
That doesn't look like it's even close.
Nothing.
It looks like the 2 on the edge
Then
may have a
my
line
shotgun
to its wing.
Dragster into your
Something like this.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I was looking from the Starweaver's perspective.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Should have turned that guy in a different direction.
Yeah, that's hard to judge, especially when your opponent can then move
Yeah.
to try to go line of sight. It's hard to get everything out of line of sight, even behind obscuring terrain.
Yeah.
As I learned
why
in my
not?
game yesterday.
one rocket launch into this, and
Yeah, I mean these units could have been
custom
clumped a lot
rifle
harder
into
together
this
too.
one.
They're spaced about an inch or maybe like 3/4 of an inch apart in every base.
6.
Yeah, some of that may be
Oh.
some inefficiency just
That's
because
fine.
of the
It's a
nature of
custom
the way to place
rifle
strat.
on
Like
5.
you already have a unit placed in there, and then you have to place around it, and it's a little awkward.
Yeah.
No, I get
Can be
-1
difficult.
because I have advance on 4s. Then, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wounding on 3s. 1 mortal wound and.
I wonder where this one
yeah.
Def Cop is going. It's just
Yeah,
kind of hanging out in the
safe.
middle of the table.
It's just yeah, it is interesting. It doesn't feel like that guy needs to be there since you're gonna, you're getting engaged with the
Now
Dragster
we
anyway.
spend 1 CP for
Yeah.
him to jump back.
So there's the strat with the
there
Dragster
he
to pop
goes.
it back.
Cool. Fire and Fade. Firest and Fadingest.
Delicious. Shock Training Systems are such a
Okay.
cool unit, man. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. They're very CP intensive, and they're
Then my
always in search of a
Death Copter, we
specific target
shoot-
profile to shoot at,
This
but
is Twin Big Shooter.
they do tricks.
Is it
They're
white
a
one?
kind of unit that Orcs aren't used to, which is like a tricky unit
6
that
shots.
does interesting things
Uh,
once it's already on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Like so much
Hitting
Orc trickery
on-
just comes out of the jump.
5s, but you have
And like
minus
if
1,
someone
right?
can, if your Weirdboard just blows himself up, or your opponent's good at shutting down psychic powers, like
Yeah.
the Orcs suddenly become a very look at the
Daka.
distribution on that roll.
Gorgeous. Yeah, this
Um,
is a Death
yeah.
Copter trying to pick off a couple wounds off a Starweaver. No dice though.
Nothing.
Not doing it though.
Then
Yeah, like
this
outside of the
Death
jump, Orcs tend to play
Copter,
very
the Skyreaver,
straightforwardly.
yeah.
Yep. So that answers our
and the
question
Drax
about
is
why the
close.
Death Copter's
How
there.
fast is range? 18 inches?
Because the Drax is going to pop back, so the Death
Uh,
Copter is going to secure that.
Oh,
engage.
Yeah, 36. Twin Big Shooter,
Mhm.
36. Nothing.
Makes sense.
Talk about.
So I think we're answering some of our questions. This is why the
Okay,
2 Death Copters are in the list. They get you engaged
this
on all
one
fronts immediately
here.
on turn 1 without having to think about it.
Yeah.
These are units that we're seeing a lot, like sort of start to come into lists as players are
36 inches,
getting more
weapons,
used to
5
the
ones.
mechanics of GT.
The first volley gets plus 1.
There's
Yeah,
all
generally
sorts
you would
of-
see this.
Go
I
ahead.
got -1 for advancing.
More generally, you'd see this
if
just
you
coming
do
out of a
as well.
jump, but this definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
can be a lot cagier with your boys if you don't have to throw them to try and desperately score points.
Yeah, it makes sense for a list that's focusing more on the vehicles than the
Yeah.
than on the big blobs of Orc boys. And this list, in fairness, means that it can't really be screened. You can't stop this list from doing what it's going to do. It's just going to pop up the table and do some tricky, dancy moves and shoot you a bunch.
Yeah, though,
Whereas
cool.
the boy spam stuff, like you hit a unit of infiltrators and your game plan
Yeah.
falls apart.
1 damage then.
Was this one? Right?
Yes, this one, yeah. And the next volley, 6 shots.
We do have, I should
Nothing.
mention,
Okay.
we do have the 3 Death Dreads in reserve as well for the Orcs. So
Yeah,
we have a
those
lot of
will hurt.
stuff. Yeah, a lot of stuff ready to come
This
in
one
and
see this as well.
mix it up later on.
Probably.
What's the punch back here gonna look like? We've got
So
3 still surviving fusion boats, or 6, sorry, which picks up what? All 3 of these scrap jets, maybe a smash gun,
Yeah, it's interesting.
possibly the war boss.
I guess you have to ask yourself if you're willing to send those Starweavers in.
Yeah.
Because you are so damaged at this point that it becomes relatively trivial if you don't kill like literally everything. That they shoot a couple Starweavers to death and then just start killing stuff with Orc boys.
The risk there is that that's going to happen anyway. I mean, the Death Dreads are going to land askance. They're going to have clear line of sight to everything. Next turn, the scrap jets will start being in range or start being in line of sight, regardless of where the Starweavers are hiding. And you can just do the shock and Dragster again. So like, you're not really denying any of his turn 2 line of sight anyway. Like you'll be out of line of sight of maybe a smash gun or 2,
Mhm.
but outside of that, like everything here is going to fire. So like, I feel like trying to take as much off of the Orcs, list of units to shoot
Yep.
as you can is like going to be the key to victory here. Like this Orc army shoots super hard, but has very little staying power. I mean, the scrap jets and dragsters are not hard to kill.
Yep.
So, but they hit hard enough to make it worthy.
Right.
But like, I mean, once they're gone, they're not doing anything.
Yeah. They're no Stompa, that's for sure.
No. Well, I don't know. Do they combined have more wounds than the Stampa?
Not T8 wounds, though.
27. That's true. Not T8.
Yeah. So looking at the Harlequin secondaries so far, we have engaged on all fronts as well for them, bring it down as well for them, and deploy scramblers, interestingly, for the Harlequins. Deploy scramblers is not one I think I've ever seen a Harlequin unit take, but they do have the ability to pick up off the table and then deep strike again next turn. So they can, once it gets down to it later in the game, they can just pick one of their remaining player units off the table and ensure that they finish that scrambler. That said, they don't have a lot to score it on the first couple turns because they're going to have to pile troops out of Starweavers, which they don't typically do.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of this engage pick.
Of engage for
Turtle-
Harlequins?
for the Harlequins. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure in most matchups it's a very solid take, but it forces the Quins into a sort of peace trading game that forces them to leave a lot in their own backfield, and they really need to just like hammer blow a specific geographic area. Like they can't really afford to spread out much here.
I actually think it's kind of a heads-up play for the Harlequins, just based on the fact that they're not playing against like a standard orc army. Like a lot of times, if you're playing against like 90 boys or the like 200 boys lists or whatever, you just do not have the opportunity to spread out. You have to concentrate all your power, and you have to kill as many boys as quickly as possible. But this list is like this orc list is kind of just playing a normal game of 40k. Like we're gonna trade some shots, we're gonna shoot some artillery, we're gonna dance around some of these like small objective holding unit or the secondary objective like units, and that's it. We're kind of playing Imperial Guard right now, and I think that actually does give the Harlequins a lot more flexibility to run around the table and do whatever they want.
I mean, he could freely score engage for the first 2 turns, but unlike a normal 200 boys like a horde, this list will just kill Star Weavers very fast. So you could run into a situation where you've run out of transports and you're just committing the troop units themselves to trying to score that, and not being on objectives.
Yeah, potentially. I guess given the fact that it's such a spread mission, but that also means that they're naturally going to be in a lot of different table quarters already. I think it's an okay pick. The pick I'm more interested in is deploy scramblers for them, honestly, because it does feel like their players are going to be having to reduce doing things instead of performing actions.
They're going to be busy the whole game.
It's so interesting. I've never seen a Harlequin player pick that. So we'll see. We'll see how they do. Bring It Down, I think the players were talking before the game is kind of an automatic take against this style of orc list, just given that there's so many 100%. Easy to kill vehicles. So even if you don't max it, you're going to score, you're going to easily pick up 10 points on that, sort of without thinking about it, just naturally over the course of the game. Sort of bizarrely, I was commenting to Shima before the game, the Defcopters are vehicle keyworded, so they each give up 2 points. Yeah. Real big downside of taking them. I think that that's actually a downside of that unit in general. You're taking them to get 3 points on turn 1, but you're giving up 4, so that's a little awkward. Although, like you pointed out to me, they do then force your opponent to dedicate attacks into them, and they aren't the easiest thing in the world to kill. Like they are toughness 5 with a 4+ save, so they don't die to like bolt guns. I mean, so you do have to shoot.
Let's be real. He already gave 3 points up on a vehicle. The race cars themselves are 10 total. The smasher guns are 2 each. This list is worth true. 40 bring it down points. I don't know that you care.
I guess the games where those 2 points for each Def Cop to matters are probably the ones where you're going to win anyway. So your opponent has not killed all your race cars. I guess
your
that's
opponent has killed
point.
Nothing in that scenario.
I was actually on the Alpha League podcast a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about picking for secondaries, and I said one of the most interesting things, if you're skewing into a certain unit keyword that is susceptible to a secondary, the one thing you can do is just lean harder into that one keyword. It doesn't matter that I have what is this, 11, 12, 13 vehicles in this list, because you're just going to score off of 5 of them anyway, so whatever, man.
That's also, for similar reasons, that's one of the reasons why I like the newly more popular Space Wolf Dreadnought spam, because it's 9 Dreadnoughts and 5 characters, and you can't take Assassinate and Bring It Down at the same time. Once you're freely giving away one of your kill secondaries, no risk in just pouring all into another one.
Yeah.
It ceases to matter.
If only Orks had Primaris Tech Marines. Oh boy.
They sort of do. But it is Goff only, and it is Mech Boss Buzzgob, a special character who has literally the exact same stat line and abilities.
Oh.
And cost.
And
unfortunately, there's no orc unit that's good with it.
Not Death Skull keyword.
Yeah, and he's Goff, so he is the faction's worst keyword.
Rip.
A faction composed entirely of infantry, designed to try and get in combat as fast as possible, and he is a ranged buffing mech.
We have a big old Snake Eyes on a Twilight Pathways to start the psychic phase off here. That's awkward.
Well, Trying to catch up to these Orc CP,
reroll.
totals as fast as
Alright.
possible.
All right.
There we go.
We're back at a 10.
Using it on the...
Yeah, fortunately for
Going
our
with
Harlequin
Tempest?
player, Orcs are one of the worst factions in the game for canceling psychic powers. Possibly literally the worst.
Helping them.
No stratagems to do it, only coming out of the desperately backline deploying weird boys who are trying to stay as far away from anyone as possible, so they rarely do it, and they don't get any buffs to it. There is mechanically no way to give an Orc a plus to its deny, so they're pretty safe.
Interestingly,
Staying in
there's
the
no
rail.
Domino Shroud on the Shadow
Yeah,
Seer.
problem.
So he just lives here on objective 4 now. Now he is. We can see Barkeeper has measured that he's within 3 inches of the Star Weaver
Finding
for
the CP
Lookout Sir.
For them advancing.
But there are
Yeah, I don't know.
there are
That's gonna
Shocktown
matter.
Jackstas on the table, and they can go wherever they want. And
Both have
The Spectre Track
Scrapjack
Scrapjet.
right?
The Scrapjet
Okay.
can just charge him with ramming speed and do 2d3 mortals and just kill him for free.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, seems like feels like an overcommittal on the Harlequins' part into these 3 Smasher Guns. Like
Doesn't shoot.
this one unit of Skyweaver is going to kill all those. I
Yep.
don't know if you need 2 units to do that.
I don't know. I mean, he's still moving, right? So there's stuff still to go.
We're no, this is
Right?
a psychic phase.
Oh no! Oh, you're right. He just cast. Why is this one Star Weaver not on objective 4 with 1 wound? Why is it just?
5 guys.
What's going on back here?
He just didn't want to be there.
Touching
Why does the
terrain
Shadow?
as well, so no minus
Why did the
skill.
Shadow Seer have to be there? What's
Because
going
he was
on?
casting Twilight Pathways, which is only range 3. So,
Then, anyhow.
and he's only got a Shuriken
Three.
pistol, I believe. So he doesn't. There's no
I
fire
think
and
we
fade. Oh no, he has a
don't,
grenade launcher.
No, you can't.
Okay, no,
just
he's
throw
gonna
it
fire
there.
and fade him. Never
I
mind.
reroll.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
All
never
right.
mind.
I mean, I still would have liked to see the Star Weaver somewhere consequential, but that at least that saves the Shadow Seer from what was certainly 100% his untimely demise.
So here we go. And
Does he have a grenade launcher?
Says it on his thing.
It does. Oh, it's free. Never mind. It's not an upgrade. You can upgrade it to a Neuro Disruptor,
Yeah,
which
should
is worse. So that's
Yeah, spend
For
points
five-
to make
5 points.
worse decisions. I oftentimes like to spend points to have worse things.
Yeah, here comes the fire invade. Okay. All right, we
One
figured
hit.
it out.
And it's equal or higher than your leadership. which
Oh,
is
boy.
definitely 11.
Plinking
Yeah.
for some mortals, the
Three
big roll on
mortals.
that grenade launcher. Oh, hits him for 1.
Spending
Yeah, I mean the
65
biggest
hit.
effect there
There it
is
Yep.
what, the -1 leadership, right?
Does not do any leadership damage. It rolls against your leadership, and then if it beats you, you take mortal wounds.
I thought it had some sort of secondary effect to it. Is it
I
a
think
leadership
that
debuff?
that was like old timey. It used to back in the day.
Huh.
Yeah,
Is there a strat? Could have sworn I got hit by that a few times in 8th edition. Maybe,
maybe it was a Death Jester.
possibly.
Yeah, Strader. Yeah, we usually stream the top tables of Tactical Tourist events. So if you get to top tables, we streamed every single one in season 2. Oh no, we missed one rapid fire game. That was too bad. So we stream all of the finals games of those. I also stream my games. So sometimes if you play me, then I'll stream it.
Discount.
But generally, that's how you get on stream here.
I like this play into the Smasher Guns here. Like, it feels like it's relatively
Yeah,
easy
I'm
to kill
here,
all
you
3
can go.
between these
Oh,
units,
sorry.
and that leaves a free charge into the force field. You know,
13?
they're then completely off of
Yep.
objective 5, and after the charge, you can just fly away, leaving this Skyweaver
No minus
unit that's
to hit.
pretty well covered by this dense terrain piece.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
It does look like
Nice.
we've prismatic
Yep.
bird these guys as well.
Twice.
yeah,
I have to imagine. There's no token for it, but it looks
One
like the
minus
CP
one
was spent.
And 5
but I
more
very
hits.
much do not like that we're just leaving these Mechatrack Scrapjets. Like, they are going to get line of sight, and they are going to do work.
Yay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
one of those things moves
Yeah.
10, 3d6 charges, like, will just kill one of these Star Weavers in the charge phase, even after shooting. I mean, one of these Star Weavers is even a viable, currently targetable target, because it moved
Yeah.
onto the area terrain, so you didn't even need to go all the way around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe we're just focusing on the Smasher Guns right now because their ballistic skill's higher. Like, we are shooting into minus, like, sort of universal -1 to hit with the Scrapjets,
that is
so
true.
everything's sitting on 6s.
No minuses
Um,
as well.
But I mean, it's a sixes with a lot of extra chances because you get that Death Skulls reroll and you get the Dakas. So
Yeah.
and then everyone that goes through is just going to kill a Skyweaver. So they are pretty dangerous.
Pretty much dead.
So I think
So,
one of these scrap jets is getting ripped off the
hits.
table here by Haywire. Yeah, that's 4.
That's good.
4 Haywire D3s. Ooh.
3, 4, 3, 5.
All right.
8, 9,
Yeah.
10, 11.
So perhaps the plan was
Casual 11 mortal wounds on that guy. No worries, it's fine.
Low.
Just,
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Yes,
Oh, he
it
exploded too.
Nice.
just for the
I think that's only
rubbins.
one damage at 3 inches though. It's not the worst thing that could
It
happen.
does force
my
morale on
goodness.
his Gretchen though.
It was D3,
Which they-
right?
50-50 to fail that at that point.
Yeah, that's
I've
awkward.
never seen one explode.
Yeah. D3.
You know, if Makari was there, they
Okay,
had a
then
leadership
on the
of 6.
Gretchens. 3 dead.
All you'd have to do is
Gretchens.
take 400
guys,
points
man.
of characters.
Yeah, cool.
Killed by a stupid vehicle.
That's
Uh,
never die.
then the next grab chat.
Oh yeah, oh they are. Unfortunately, putting all those orc rockets in one place makes them explode pretty hardcore. They explode for D3.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's pretty damaging.
No. Oh no.
Are they at least D3 for 3 inches?
It is 3 inches.
Okay.
So I think it misses the
Something
war
for
boss.
the
Thank
army.
goodness. Brutal.
I wonder if the play to blow up the Burnababa was the correct one in that instance, because you can just leave it right next to objective 6. It explodes for 6 inches, so if they want to stay on the objective,
You can't.
They have to
auto-explode
stay
it, though,
within
can
it.
you?
it explodes on a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose that becomes pretty dicey.
Gretchen as well?
Yeah. It does require them to dedicate. Well, yeah, they just have fusion guns there. I guess it's not like they have to do anything to kill it. Like they'll just automatically do it. Yeah.
Although it also has,
Onto
it has
it.
guns.
Yeah, I could shoot you.
Which it doesn't get
What
to
is
shoot
that?
when it
Right.
explodes.
Yeah,
on
it's
turn
kind of
one.
awkward that
And
flying
5
headbutt isn't
minus
like
1.
at the end of the turn or something, or like
Yeah.
end of shooting phase or something like
Yeah,
that.
minus-
because
minus
it's
nothing,
weird that
sorry.
Minus
the
nothing.
kamikaze
thinking
player
we-
flying
4 in
directly
total.
at you would not then also fire its weapons.
Yeah, or drop its bombs or do anything.
Yeah,
It's a
shoot
little.
rockets and
Yeah.
stuff. These
Yeah,
Gretchens,
not a-
poor Gretchen,
Looks
just
like
getting
it's a
ripped
good
off the
gesture,
table
so
by
2 shots, 2
by
kills.
the shuriken
Yeah, why
cannons.
not?
Who could have seen that one coming?
What? Gretchen getting killed?
Yeah, weird. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the flying headbutt in 9th edition. It was supreme towards the end of 8th, where every army was this like vehicle supporting castle of Mechanicus, and you could land that dude and do 20 plus mortal wounds easy.
Two shots.
And there was almost nothing they could do to stop it. Same against Space Marines as well.
You could also like combo it
but-
with the
No AP.
shock attack gun that snipered people. So like, you could teleport
Yeah.
that guy in and then also like headbutt their characters and then automatically kill them.
Yeah, there was a lot of like interesting play with it. These days, though, it's a little bit harder to justify in my mind. Like it went up in cost, which hurts. Fewer flyer slots. People aren't playing these like dense packs of characters and like thin units in Death Stars anymore. You know, the table's much more spread out.
Yeah. In fairness, though, I think if there's one matchup where you want to deal a bunch of mortal wounds across an army, it's probably Harlequins.
Oh yeah, like in this one game, he did work. He
Yeah.
did 15 mortal, or 15. No, it was 12. It was 3-star weavers and that thing. And you
Right.
know, trading for one turn, 12 mortals into there, pretty good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not a lot of follow up was able to come out of that. Only the Dragsta only did one wound to one of the Star Weavers
Right.
there. But you know, the intention was there, and we managed to evacuate that guy back out. So not a lot extra was lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I almost wonder if there's a
They're charging.
if there's an
This
argument to be made to
Necros
hold
and,
that play until later in the game when stuff's like been tuned
Yeah.
up. Like if you can get the characters out of their transports and then catch them with the flying headbutt, like that's where it
Oh,
really
it's great.
starts getting.
It becomes mechanically difficult to pull off because
Right.
A, they could just kill it,
Yeah.
although they probably won't. And B, you have to at that point you have to deploy it pointing sideways in your own back deployment zone, move 20 inches, and that basically cuts basically a good 26 inches or so of the table off from your even being able to effect with it. So it's not the hardest thing to play around.
Right. Yeah, that is true. It is not a maneuverable flyer, so you make it more difficult for you to do it later on in the game.
And flyers do not get outflanked for free, right? You have to deploy them unless you want to spend the points.
Yeah, I think you have to run.
I think
them
a
off the
lot
table.
do, but yeah, it's
I'd
like
have to double
battle.
check, though. I've never done that.
It's data sheet specific whether or not they get to like flank for free. I think some do. And that would be the other play. I mean, you just flank it on, and then it just shows up somewhere and blows up. But sadly, not worth that expense. Orcs are so CP constrained. Like, they went from having 20 CP at the end of 8th to having, like, we start this game with 3. Every Orc army I play starts with either 6 or 7, which is not a lot. And Orcs have, Orcs being one of the older codexes in the game right now, a lot of their strats just cost a lot. There's been a big move towards making most of the strats in the game cost 1 or 2 if they're exceptionally powerful, but some Orc strats just cost 3. Whatever reason.
Because
most cost 2.
Because they used to have 18 CP.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had the opposite of the Custodes problem, where all of their stratagems are really cheap because they didn't have any CP.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
now they have a lot. Yeah. Do you think we're gonna try to kill this Big Mech, or are we gonna go for a Rapsies on it? It looks like a Rap is possible. Here.
I think you kill a Big Mech and wrap the gun. The Big Mech can just emergency evacuate, or use the strat to just get out. He has fast enough movement to pull it off.
That's true. Yeah,
smashes move 3 inches. They cannot.
That's true.
Oh, -2.
Although maybe you just want your opponent to spend all of their CP getting.
-2, then I don't have.
The strat to pursue after an opponent falls back, is that players only?
Yeah, that's only Harlequins. Troopers.
-2, you said.
Yeah,
the bikes. That would be Twilight Encore.
He's gonna kill this.
I know because I made a riff on it in my last video.
Fun fact about Smasher guns: they're vehicles, and they have big guns never tire.
That's true. They're just gonna shoot that gun. It's not blast, is it?
You're right. Other fun fact: they don't have big guns never tire because their only guns are blast.
Oh no! These poor Gretchen. They didn't know that not having blast is mechanically better. Wah wah.
Aren't of them? Yeah, is the bubble? Yeah, the bubble chuck is blast. The big custom blasta that no one would take. I think that one is also blast. Yeah, never mind. They're useless.
Sorry, Gretchen.
Womp womp. Sorry, Gretchen.
Thanks for the follow, Corvus. I want to thank everybody who's tuned in to join us today. Looks like we got a pretty
Watch this
good
Big Mech
crowd
swing up super
in chat.
So,
Yeah, I'm.
Watch this Big Mech swing up super hard and kill 4 of them.
force field.
Or I guess kill 1.
Yeah.
He only has 4
I guess
attacks.
it is unlikely he survives this, but I'm kind of rooting for him.
No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. 4 into the mech guy. Force field guy.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna overcommit into that guy. Four Skyweavers into him. Just make sure he goes away. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a solid wrap target. Although having 120 boys attacks into your Skyweaver unit doesn't feel great.
Yeah, it probably kills most of them for sure. It does sort of limit what the Orcs can do
6 ups then now.
in their with their charges, because you can't let them curtain fall out of there, because that would just be like game over.
German coach, kleine Straße.
Yeah.
If we had managed to orient this rightmost Skyweaver a little bit farther over to the left, it would actually be hard to get a huge number of the boys into this combat, but he is there.
Yeah, you got to do that for the wrap, right?
You got your objectives. Still nice.
I was giving the players props before the game for correctly base sizing their Orc boys. It's kind of a perennial problem on TTS because most of the models still are on the 25 mil.
I forget to do that a lot.
But yeah, Barkeeper has put his guys on big bases, so props to him.
I'm not immune to that mistake. I make that all the time.
All right,
if you're quick to just...
You may take back with your killy death.
There's the wrap.
There's the wrap.
No, I would start with the Gretchens first.
That's the wrap, ladies and gentlemen.
12.
There's some terrifying Grecian attacks.
6s.
Here they come. All right, well.
Come on, one get. No.
They have a lot of attacks, at least.
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
They're kind of like Nurgling bases.
Yeah, 6 attacks out of a piece of artillery. Why not?
So, this one Gretchen left on objective 1. Do you think this guy survives this leadership check?
All right, did we miss it, or did this Death Cop did not die?
Oh, one hit.
How did that happen?
We might have just forgot to do the charge over here.
Nothing.
Well, he took 2s.
Yeah,
he took 2 wounds.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. then we are done.
Yeah, that's weird.
What?
We have
Did we forget to put the
What?
Zephyr?
9
No, they have
points
the
for
Zephyr
it.
glaives. I don't get it.
Where's
I don't
the
get it.
uneven number?
Trevi, I don't understand.
I don't understand either. What
The
happened.
burner
Should
bomber?
be-
Burner
Ah,
bomber.
the
is
burner
3.
bomber. Yeah, sure, the burner bomber.
There's also no benefit to not killing him, right? Because he flies, so he just leaves combat. He can't shoot, but like,
Yeah.
who cares? Nobody cares about that.
I
guy
mean-
shooting.
Fun fact, he can shoot in combat.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It's
but
a
he's, I mean,
vehicle.
he's
I gotta
absolutely
check the
leaving
morale
combat this
for
turn,
the
right?
Gretchen.
Like, he's a free,
Yeah.
he's an extra free score on engage in all fronts. You don't have to put anything in that quarter anymore.
Gone away, easy
Yeah,
scrambler.
exactly.
Yeah, that's kind
Although
of sick.
Your turn.
I kind of imagine 3 depth dreads just land right here and just wash this entire objective.
On which objective?
Okay.
By 6.
Oh, on objective 6, yeah.
So he's actually.
I mean, that's gonna be tough,
Yes.
but
Yeah, maybe they land by 2 and try and kill 3 Star Weavers instead of the 2
yeah,
that are over here.
yeah. I mean, the the problem is that these are all Star Weavers. So not only are they individually hard to kill, but they're also full of like players with fusion pistols. So it's like, I don't even know if I want to attack them. That said, the player's threat range once they're out of the Skyweaver is relatively
Okay.
short with the fusion pistol. So if you keep the Death Dreads kind of back,
Moved here,
I think the players only walk and shoot 14.
Yeah, it's a huge. I think it's hugely damaging to their ability to score engage. For
Yeah.
instance, if you've managed to kill the Star Weavers, this Scrambler's pick. You're right. I don't know when they're gonna have the time to scramble anything.
Yeah,
Did this player unit that got out at they scrambled, correct?
yeah.
Like, so
the
they've
one
at
in the
least done their own
deployment
deployment
zone.
zone.
Yeah, so they have one
Yeah.
already. Yeah, yeah. You can see the players are using the score counter to mark it.
Yeah.
I don't love that because it does like sort of artificially inflate your score, but I like.
I
to
write
use
it on the
little
board.
D3. Yeah.
Just pull out that the little pencil and I just write scrambled. On the
Scrambled.
board I did it on. Uh-huh.
1 egg for me.
You think if you went to a diner and you ordered scrambled
I need
eggs,
to
they
be
would like
6 away of the center, right?
they would just hand you like 3 lictors or something?
Yeah.
6 away of the center.
3 lictors. Yeah.
Okay,
A
but I
lictor,
think
a
I
unit of
just
commandos,
do a
and
normal
1
move.
CP
There we
for
go.
strategic
Thanks, mate.
reserves.
I won't advance.
Measuring
Can try
for
the
that
charge
engage
now.
there.
Okay.
Yeah. Looks like we may be banking on a charge on this scrapjet.
Um,
It's a little awkward.
I don't even, are we? We're landing the... I'd imagine we're landing the Death Dreads here.
Yeah, maybe.
And the shock dome tracks can go anywhere. And I don't think they need to fire and fade anymore. They just go where they want to be.
No, the Death Dreads, while they're off the table,
we
they're
just put them,
still
like,
a
here.
single unit,
Right,
right?
yeah,
So
close to it.
Yeah, they land as a single unit.
They have to come in within 6 inches of each other, just like they were deploying.
Okay, this
Yeah.
is this.
Yeah, although that gives you like a 24-inch wide
Yeah.
deploy.
Yeah,
it's
it's still
very
pretty
awkward
flexible.
the way that works.
It just doesn't
Yeah.
mean it means you can't put like 3 like you
Boys,
can't put them like
gotta-
sort of all over the place in your opponent's backfield or something. They just
Yeah.
have to be on
Well,
one quarter.
I mean,
Bit.
if they have to be within 6 inches of each other and they have like 2-inch wide bases,
Yeah.
you basically can cover the entire backfield, but you don't necessarily want to. They're more a
Fist of
shooting,
Gork.
like a very dedicated shooting unit
Visible
that
and
you probably don't
visible.
expect to survive to maintain engage in the long term anyway.
Yeah.
Does he fit in here? With... Check something. No, he doesn't. Okay, yeah. I need to. Move. Okay.
So I definitely feel like the Harlequins did less damage than I would have hoped on the punchback, because this is going to be a harsh turn for them.
Yeah, I
suspect.
mean that's kind of the danger of focus firing down these smashes, right? Is like
Yeah.
you kill smashes, but oh boy,
I mean,
there's still some scary scrapjacks on the table. They're about to.
I mean, if you leave
Blast
5
them.
fusion squads like just hanging out in your own backfield, that's not the greatest use of quite a few points. I mean,
Yeah,
I feel like the Harlequin's nature of trying to play incredibly cagey to go for later game scoring doesn't work with these secondary choices, and just doesn't work at all against this army.
well,
this
I
is-
mean,
this is-
it works with the deploy scramblers pick because you don't want to throw away all your players immediately.
Well,
But it
you might
does-
not have a choice.
Yeah, I mean, it does give the Orks the ability to come in and start mixing it up a little earlier
Yeah.
than I think you'd want.
I suppose it's going to matter whether or not these scrap shits roll 6s, but they don't need to do that in combat.
Yeah. They have to roll 4s in combat.
Yeah.
And as we know, 4+ is like approximately 100% of the time, so...
Oh yeah.
Easy
Especially that
game.
reroll, free automatic fight twice. I mean, this Scrapjet can just like crawl its way down the side of this 1-star Weaver to then touch this other Star Weaver.
Yeah.
Well, they can't attack unless they charge, but you know, maybe just charge them anyway. With a ramming speed, you could hit both. You could do 2d3 to kill one, easily wipe it out, wipe out the other one. And you're there.
As
hanging out.
I learned yesterday, there is a strat that allows them to charge a second time. So
Yeah,
if
it's
if
pretty
he
gross.
ramming speeds the first one down, he can declare a charge on the second one. If the
Yeah.
players don't get in the way.
Scrapjets do pretty good
10
extra
inches,
mortals damage.
Yeah.
10.
They do what their own 2d3. You do the second charge, which is again another 2d3.
Right.
Fine now.
Although you can't easily do it if you have 3 CP. That's it's one of the critical weaknesses that you're going to find when you start the game with 3 CP, and you're playing an army that's very
when I
CP
have
hungry.
to advance
that you
this
have
one,
3
can
CP?
pass here already or not?
Yeah, so you have 3 CP.
No, you can't.
We're running into the classic orc problem here, where
All of our time is spent on
all of our time just
moving
trying to
boys.
to extricate our weird boy. Yeah.
It's meant to be
Yeah.
able
There
to
he
go
goes.
through here.
Sure.
Yeah, that should be fine.
Gotta
Looks like
advance
he's-
him.
I think he's trying to get line of
Choosing
sight
to advance
him.
to cast Fist of
Three,
Gork on the
so-
war boss, I would imagine.
That's 8.
Was that the second pick on the Red Boy?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want him too
Yeah,
far.
pretty good choice there.
Yep.
6.3
Was this the Skyweaver unit that was Twilight Pathways?
10 inches.
Yes.
Or not Twilight Pathways, the
We have
the 3-up.
vision.
Oh, they both get it. That's how.
Okay.
War boss.
Or-
Because it triggers when you advance, so the first one gets it in the movement phase, and the second one gets it in the psychic phase.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Fine.
So, I mean, even the tooled up war boss on bike, you know, he doesn't bypass 3-up invuln saves. He may kill a bike per hit that goes through, and he may
Just
score
put
all
that
9 of
on
his
the
wounds
leaf
through,
here.
but, you know, if you just CP reroll one of those failures, you're averagely killing like 2 bikes.
Because
Yeah.
he's
So,
not able to
Not
advance.
the hardest hit in the world. Like, these orc boys would probably end up sinking more of these bikes that this war boss is going to.
For sure, yeah. Bouncing up against the invulns is exactly what
Okay.
that war boss wants not to do.
Spending spear on to
But that said, if the fists go off, I mean, he has
Yeah.
a billion attacks, and everyone kills every fail kills a Skyweaver, so a Starweaver. So
The
almost kills a
Scrapjet also
Skyweaver.
looks like he's
12.
Scrapjet's angling into go try for it too,
Yeah.
and every one of his that goes through as well. That's just a dead bike.
Yep. This almost feels like an overcommit on the Skyweavers, but I guess you just want to take those guys out if you have the chance. I don't really know what
Yeah.
else that Scrapjet's going to do, in fairness. Big question is where these Dragsters go. They do have the opportunity
Either
to pick
behind
off a
objective
lot of
2
Starweaver
or-
here. Yeah.
Yeah, either behind objective 6 or behind objective 2. So we did not drop the Deft Dreads, and that is
Well, we're not
A choice.
I don't think we're done with the movement phase
He
yet,
has
are we?
moved.
what are the dice that we just started rolling?
I
I
wanna
thought that was a
close
second
this.
guess. You're probably right, actually.
Dragsters.
He advanced the weird boy.
Yeah. Okay.
Com-
I don't think-
competitive wargaming followed. I think that's the validation I needed in my life. Finally.
Finally,
We've
we
made
made
it,
it.
chat. We're competitive now.
So it looks like we're not putting these orc boys into the Skyweaver squad, or we're just trying for some very like a long bomb charge here. Because I mean, the war boss, whoever you pick to go first, he's just gonna pick up the Skyweaver that both the war boss and the orc boys are probably impacting. So one of those two units
Possible to
probably is
place
not
one
getting an
here.
attack.
Check out.
Yeah, I don't know if they kill the Skyweavers just between the war boss and the Scrapjet. I feel like this unit might survive,
Hard to measure.
Mhm.
and then it's just on the objective,
would
like
say
probably
it's
outnumbering the
possible.
boys.
Yeah. Well,
Do you
that
say?
doesn't matter.
Fine for you?
They're not.
Well, the boys will.
Come again?
Well, I mean, the boys wouldn't be OBSEC on it either, would they?
Shock some Dragster here.
Why aren't boys obsec?
I mean, they wouldn't be on the objective.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's fine.
yeah. I feel like they can.
Does
They can get there.
there.
You can squeeze a guy in just beneath where the Gretchen are, I think, and you can tow it.
Yeah, that's true. They'd have to.
The yellow
Yeah,
one
you're
is
right. That's probably only like a
empty,
4-inch
yeah,
charge, really. You just
Yeah. And you have the consolidator on
put
top
them
of
right
that.
there. Yeah. Gotta make sure to have
This ship
the triangle at the end of that boys unit, though. If you string all the way down, that dude just dies.
Oh, terrible.
Hitting the
Alright, some
objective.
very subtle angling of the shock jump.
I really appreciate
Not a lot.
how
Then
much these
one
orcs care about
commander unit.
their lines of fire.
Yeah.
They're very.
It is
cagey
fortunate.
orcs.
It's very fortunate that they FAQ'd the Dragsta to give itself a 4+ ballistic skill when firing, or sorry, a 3+ ballistic skill when firing its main gun, rather than just getting +2 to hit. Because otherwise, the stack set of negatives here, he'd be sitting on a pretty bad time.
Yeah.
All right, we got some scrambling happening.
Hey, we were talking in the Discord today about how that didn't happen with vibro cannons, where they just give themselves stacking +1s to hit, which no longer stack.
Yeah.
So if it's good at shooting units in dense cover.
Which I suppose it would be.
Yeah, I guess shakes them up.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake.
So here come
Shake your opponent's vehicles to death.
the Scramble Mandos. Coming to get some scramblers done for the orcs, and then we have one waiting in the wings for next turn.
Uh-oh. I think I see a list illegality.
They would do scramble.
What's up?
You can so the boss knob in a commandos unit has to take the 15-point custom rocket launcher and power claw.
Probably.
That is literally there's no options on that guy. He just has to take those items.
He also they have power claws.
9 inches.
Yeah, but he does not have the rather expensive rocket launcher. Let's see if he shoots it.
Yeah, I think this was a question that the player asked before it started.
Okay.
Yeah, they only sell one.
According to the datasheet I'm
only
looking
sell-
at, the boss knob just has a power claw.
That's not good.
He
So
doesn't.
he is 20 points.
No, I mean that's what the datasheet says. They don't even have a rocket on their stat card here.
Not sure if I want to charge there or there. You have 4 CP. You can.
Intercept and I can move away.
Wabi might just be wrong on
away,
this one.
yeah.
Hmm.
Accept and move away.
Let me pull up the codex really quick.
Not that good.
It's a very awkward thing because they only fine cast that unit comes in like fine cast boxes of like 5 for $1,000, and they really cut they cut basically all of the options out of the box because it doesn't come with any. And where's this codex? Is it? There it is.
Well, yeah.
I could be wrong. I'd like to be wrong. I've been taking knobless commandos for a while.
9
because
inches
I'd
away.
like it if I could just not take a power claw.
This
Just have
unit here.
an empty guy. Let's see.
Gotta move.
Commandos.
Thanks.
Unit commandos 5 can 5 additional commandos up to 10.
Okay.
A boss knob can take the place of 1 commando and is armed with a power claw, slugga, and stick bombs.
Commandos I've
There you go.
deployed.
There.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
You
Never
get power
mind.
claw on that guy.
Scramble.
Yeah. Okay, so you can't not
Something
take the power
else
claw
to
on him.
movement.
Correct.
At least.
Move.
Correct. So
Okay.
he has 10 points.
So, yeah, I'm still saving 10 points by not taking him on
Yeah.
the Scramblers unit.
Davit and I think we had a discussion about it when he submitted his list.
Alright, good to know.
Here you go,
Okay.
chat. Dropping some knowledge on
Then
you.
the psychic phase.
No rockets
Still
in your
unfortunate
commando
that you have to
unit.
Go, power, go.
Makes him,
Wait, I need to
makes
do
that unit
this here.
55 points instead of the 45 it could have been by
Scramble
taking the
and 5
knob.
points for primary, right?
Yeah, it gives them something to do though. Like occasionally,
Uh,
your opponent
Because
only
when I
has
go down,
Yeah,
Yeah.
melee things to take them out, and you can like kill a couple of intercessors or whatever.
I will start with the smite.
Yep, sure.
Oh!
That's peril.
Yeah.
So
Gotta
weird boy
reroll
going
this.
with the smite perils immediately. We had 2 perils so far. This game.
Was it at least a super smite perils or a bad
No, it was
perils?
the sad
But you are out
perils.
of the range.
Double one,
Also,
sad.
also, you
Just
kind of
read that.
never want to.
Three.
Oh, it does kill a Starweaver though, a Skyweaver. You kind of never
And
want
the
to perils
fist
at all
of
with a weird boy because
Orc on my wobbles.
they just kill themselves anyway.
The parrots.
And it looks like he gets the perils again because of the
Double one again.
orc rule, but he's not.
No
gonna kill
parrots.
them.
I do the wounds.
I've started in my play. I mean, this is probably very
one
specific to lists that basically just want to catapult 1 or 2 units away, and then the weird boy kind of like loses his purpose at that. But I have started angling him for the almost free super smites he can get.
What? Sorry, I didn't hear.
Because he super smites on an 11, which if you run, an 8
Okay.
plus 3,
I've
it's one of the easier super smites to pull off in the game right now.
No, just a mortal wound. Yeah.
And he only blows himself up on a 12 or more. So there's a
Could be dead by now.
as long as you can roll an 8 and not a 9,
Yeah,
you
true
can get some pretty good free damage.
okay, then
it's
let's
difficult
go
to
for
deny those.
the shooting.
Though also, the weird boy is typically such an important, it's like the most important
I'll
piece
start
in your
over
army
with
at any
these,
given time.
This
So
measure
it's oftentimes not worth the risk of even casting at all.
Yep.
We'll wait with shooting. I will start with this one into the green.
So I think that was everything
we
off the weird boy. Looks like we
3 shots.
we
3
smited
shots.
and we got our Fist of Gorkov.
Hitting on 5s.
Not a big fan of leaving this other shot jump back here, but
And
I mean,
the next
well, he's
one,
it was a good choice last time.
well,
He was safe.
one shot.
So he's
That's
doing
the only
something.
target that the smasher
Nothing.
guns have, though.
Yeah.
The last,
I mean, it
but
feels
not
unlikely
least,
that they're
I
gonna kill it,
shoot
though.
on the purple one.
They also can shoot
Sure,
this other
that's the
Star
one with the
Weaver.
Master.
3 shots.
Well,
Yeah,
one
I
of
think
them,
you're just
one of
barely
them
right.
can.
One of them can, yeah.
5s. Nothing.
Could
Yeah,
we talk
they're
about?
just missing so hard.
Yeah.
-1 to hit is so brutal for these guys.
Yeah.
This shock jump dragster can only shoot this Star Weaver here.
Yep, true.
2 shots hitting on 4s because of 3s, but you get -1.
I got
hit.
-2. If you get any
Both hit?
+2, I'm in the terrain and.
No, I don't get +1. It's just a
yeah,
ballistic
it's-
skill. Ballistic
Yes,
skill
yeah,
3.
sure.
Talking about the FAQ there.
Yeah,
Oh,
literally what we just
No
talked
problem,
about.
And wounding on 3s. 2 wounds.
Both wound?
The
D6 damage.
first one
Ooh.
goes through.
That too. I think we probably
Roll the
reroll
dice.
that.
Yeah, maybe.
5 damage.
Plinks for 5.
1 left.
Drum roll. Uh-oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Explosion. Doesn't matter.
That kills it. There you go. Good job, Shock
on.
Jump Dragster.
Didn't
How do
even
you
have
feel
to
about
fire.
that? How do you feel about that move now, Shuma? Oh, I don't know about keeping the
Wait.
Shock Jump Dragster here. Boom! 1 shot to Star Weaver.
I mean, now 2 smasher guns can't shoot him, right? Or did they already?
No,
fire?
they all shot and they just totally whiffed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. That's pie in my face right there. Like, wasn't even the clowns that pied my face. It was those. He didn't even have to fire his rocket launcher, which would have hit on 6s and probably missed. Although he still had his shot reroll on it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that guy just bossed all of his attacks.
With how incredible that main gun is, that the rocket launcher they attached to that thing is just such a sad little nonsense gun.
Where is it on the model? Is the guy like shooting it out of the window?
No, it's this like big rack like right behind them. It's like sitting on top of the
Oh,
vehicle.
it's on the top. Yeah, like they would just burn themselves with the backblast, right?
Yeah.
You know, why not?
I mean, I don't know that orcs care too much about the safety of their weaponry.
Well, now we got a player squad out in the open that can deploy
Okay.
spoilers, so that's something.
Yeah, and he put that one player on the obscuring terrain so it can now be shot at.
That's the Death Jester.
That's
the.
yeah.
No.
They all look the same to me.
Excuse me, Chad. I apologize. That's Jeff Dester.
Wait, Jet.
That's
Jeff
what,
Okay,
that's,
I will
that's
go
what he put in the
on.
tooltip.
I like it.
Amazing.
With the Death Threats. Into your Sky Weavers.
Well, unfortunately, the way we deploy these now just
The
let the
first
Extract
one,
Scrapjet
3
fire
shots.
his 12 shooter shots at them.
Hitting on
At the players, can he?
4s, but you get I get -1.
He did just. He just measured up that his
one Death
conclusion was
Sky
that he could, but you're right.
Yeah,
Probably
I
can't.
think he's shooting at the Skyweavers right now.
They have toughness
Yeah.
of fire? 4?
Yep.
Yeah, I finished 8. Yeah, then it's wound. Yeah.
I missed it as well in the movement phase. The Death Treads looks like came down in this bottom right
There you go.
corner by objective
D6
5.
damage.
Looks like we're really going to commit to try to pull all these
What damage?
Skyweavers off the table. Makes a lot of sense because that's a lot of the threat projection
And the
out
next
of this
one.
Eldari list You do have the fusion
Yeah.
pistol still, but
Hitting you on
they don't
5s.
go
Yeah, this is
nearly
what
as far.
One reroll.
This is what I meant earlier. Like, if you're
One
not,
mortal wound.
like, given the way that this orc list functions,
me.
if you're not utilizing everything you have to hammer blow them immediately, I mean, they're just going to take the units you hand to them one at a time and kill them.
Yeah.
One death guy reroll.
And I think, especially
Oh,
given the first round of shooting,
Jesus,
you,
shooting is not my.
you can, like,
Okay.
there's probably, the Harlequins, like, see a bunch of orc shots missing and then bouncing up in vulnerable saves, and you're like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, you can shoot these Skyweavers, you know, as much as you want, but every single one of these shots that goes through, like, the 1 in a million that gets through
kills
your
one.
invulnerable save just burns, like, a 50-point model, yeah.
Yeah, like, having a throw invul's nice, but when your opponent's base flat damage is
It's not
3
illegal, right?
everywhere,
Yeah.
you know?
They aren't. Okay. Then 2 D3 shots.
Yeah, this almost feels like a little bit like it might be a matchup knowledge issue, because, like, this style of orc army does not play the same way as,
Sixes.
you know, many other orc builds.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that said, definitely don't count Harlequins out. Like, they,
1 wound.
if anybody has the
Oh, no.
ability to come back
Certainly
from
not.
behind, it's White Scars, but then Harlequins are
Search 8, yeah.
a close second.
Safe.
We also have that overrun pick on the orc side, which I think was a mistake.
Death Dreads were dropped. I missed it.
Yeah,
Man, they camouflage well up there.
Plus
Right,
1,
yeah,
so
they-
I need to split
they
this, yeah.
blend right into
6
the
shots hitting
the
you on
broken
5s.
grounds here.
I'm
I'm gonna.
Yeah,
I
use
think
a reroll.
I have a hard
Oh,
time envisioning the orcs scoring more than, you know, maybe 4 or 6
wounding,
points on
death guy
overrun.
reroll.
Whereas it
One
looks to
wound.
me like the
Yes.
Harlequins are gonna easily be able to max bring it down and deploy scramblers
6
and at
shots
least score
hitting
10
you on
points on
6s.
engage.
Okay.
So
He's done with shooting.
Well,
it definitely feels like there's going to be, you know,
this
the Harlequins
one
will have to play, or the
we
Orcs will have to play pretty hard
shoot-
for primary. And this is not an amazing list to play for primary. You do only have
Yeah, I'm
that
s-
big Orc Blood squad.
No, we can't see.
To,
I am surprised the Death Dreads
Yeah,
landed in the back
probably.
rather than back here, where they could have easily started threatening objective 2 by just walking onto it.
yeah, on the flip side, though,
different.
you do deploy them
Every
out
base,
of
if I
easy
base
range
is
to get
different.
hit by the fusion pistols. So
Yeah,
if you
top
can
base
kill
is
all
counting.
all the Skyweavers, like, there's nothing that touches them.
But
And they
if
can
you
just
say
kind of
so.
waddle
Yeah,
around
but
and take
Yeah,
shot
yeah.
shots.
Oh,
Small one.
if they kill all the Skyweavers, there's nothing they can shoot at either, because there's a big obscuring terrain piece blocking most of the board from their line of sight.
Well, their range is
I-
only
I
24,
kinda-
so they don't need to, like, shoot across the
Yeah.
across the board.
They only-
Then I got
But
They only
gonna-
move 6,
They're
so
gonna
I don't know if
start
they fire
pushing
again.
They're going to start pushing at objective 6 pretty hard, and they're only like 2
Oh.
turns away
There's
from
nothing to
getting there.
you. Why are you putting them?
They don't move that fast.
need to-
That's a slow unit.
Well, they advance. They're already minus 1 to hit, so there's no downside to advancing.
Nothing.
That's true.
So you might as well.
Then
And that's 6 plus D6. Could double their move.
hitting you on 5s. 1 death guy reroll. 1 wound.
3 up.
Oh my god.
4 times Decker.
Ooh.
There you go.
I think this looks like a twin big shooter, so I don't know if that's very exciting, but...
Yeah.
3 wounds.
Megatron Scrapchat is an awkward model to shoot. The
1 damage.
you have to fire the wing missile separately because they have a different ballistic skill value than the 2d3 blast cannon. 2d3 blast cannon requires you roll the number of shots,
Yeah.
and then it has two sets of 6 big shooter shots, but one of those is +1 ballistic skill
It's
and the
like-
other isn't.
It's like shooting a repulsor, but it's all of its shots
Yeah.
are like wildly
Stop
inaccurate,
shooting,
and
stop
none of them are like quite as impressive.
Yeah.
And it's 100 points, so you have like 12 of them. This is why
I would
orc
say- I
players
think it's-
time out all the time. This is why
yeah.
we're 20 minutes down on the orc
This is
side.
shock jump Dragster.
It's a very unfortunate army to play if you're not very good at rolling.
You split
Like
again,
that's why you
and-
see so often players running different dice colors and rolling them all at once, but that gets really awkward with death skulls because you kind of can't do that.
Right.
Oh no.
Yeah, if you roll them all at once, you're like the other player could quite
Yeah,
rightly accuse you of
doesn't matter how I split
kind of manipulating the
this.
dice so that you can always take the reroll on the best
Any
gun,
character inside?
Yeah.
No.
which is like not how
No,
it
no,
should
no,
it's supposed to work.
Just play. We just want to play.
Yeah, all these race cars are kind of like a disaster for game time. They all have, especially
Okay,
the
then
Rocket Truck Squig Buggy or
Rocket Launch.
the Custom Booster Blaster.
We go
Like
on
they
to
just
the
get
red
so
one.
awkward. The Booster Blaster has like
The other
6 gun
stuff
profiles,
too.
and 3 of them don't do
The
anything.
rocket launch hitting on.
It's like a Grot Blaster and a grenade, are the last 2.
Oh
One
man.
Daka. No, wounding you on 3s.
Big roll.
1 wound.
So the rocket launcher went through on a Star Weaver. Oh, he makes it save.
No, it didn't.
That was a
And
3-wound Star
2
Weaver.
times
Would
hitting
have just
you on
popped
falls.
it. Ah, that's so sad. We got so far. Oh no.
Oh,
Double
only roll
ones
taking a
on
wound
the-
there too.
1 hit.
Yeah, double ones on the
Winning you on 3s.
Gun.
Death guy reroll.
Oh,
Hey, you gotta shake the dice or pick up a different one. You gotta wait. That dice
Damage
roller,
to
man.
before jumping
Oh,
away,
too
or
bad.
just stay there.
Yeah.
We take the damage on him.
Thinking about.
We gotta take the
players
damage on
gonna
the shock
keep
jump.
this probably
yeah,
really
he's about to
easy.
move him, so he might just do that when he picks it up.
Really easy.
We'll watch. We'll watch. Don't worry, chat.
Yeah, I bet I
We're on
spent
it.
CP here.
Yeah, here he goes.
And we'll jump.
Volley Bearable, it is round 2.
Okay.
I don't know if it's bottom or top because that's a baseball
I
thing,
think
and
You
I
have to
didn't
take
watch
a wound
baseball.
on that shock jump, right?
Oh, he gets a mortal wound? Sorry.
Yeah, because of he double ones.
Of the one.
gunshot.
Yeah. Thanks.
Boom, laying down the law.
Okay.
Do I have my judge turtle?
Yeah,
here?
those-
I do. Here we go. Judge turtle, go.
Them and the Def Dreads tend to just burn themselves out pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately,
so the
they have a
Dreads,
lot of
it's-
wounds. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, the dreads really eat them super quickly because they shoot so many times.
Okay.
Yeah, they average like 0.7 wounds per shooting phase
Yeah.
to themselves.
Yeah, sure.
Everyone expects the Trevi
Yeah,
Inquisition.
the wobbles into your Sky Weaver.
Surprise.
Just play perfectly
why
and
do I
never make
want
any
to?
mistakes. You know, like everyone does.
Somewhere here. Oh, I don't want to block my Grabjet.
Fitting in the War Boss. Can't go too far because then we
Scrapjet
risk blocking
into
Scrapjet.
Hmm
Sure.
Yeah, this is going to be an awkward fight phase. Like, who do you go first
Yeah.
with? The boys, probably, because I think they're the highest damage output. But then you can pull away from the war boss almost immediately.
Especially with how he just, if he just, with where he just pays the
Yeah.
Scrapjet. I think either
Yeah,
the
he's
boys
beautiful.
lose all of their attacks or the War Boss loses all of his attacks.
Yeah, I wonder if that the war boss could have.
He did not charge the boys.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go.
Okay. Then.
That's a problem then, because I suspect the Skyweavers will stay alive on this objective.
Yeah. Huh. At least they didn't.
mean, I guess
take
the
over
Scrapjet-
us, so doesn't really matter.
The Scrapjet does have 8 attacks and can just crawl down the side with his corkscrew double attack.
Yeah.
Oh no, but he based the model, so he can't, unless the
Nice.
Skyweaver dies.
Done a
Which,
mistake.
I mean, I guess it would die
Should have
possible on the
saved
first
one
corkscrew.
CP
Then he
more.
moves 3, and he moves 3 around, and he would at least have 2 to 2.
Okay, yeah, the Scrapjet into
Which
your
is not what you need
player,
to
8
take it.
inches.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
needs to take it.
And also, kind of awkwardly, the Scrapjet
Okay.
with the ram roll
can
killed
get-
one of the Skyweavers out from under the war boss. So
Oh, is that how that died? That wasn't even
a.
yeah,
a declaration. Was that before the
Yeah, how
was that
many?
before the boys
the
charged?
boys have not charged yet.
3.
Oh no, I misread that situation.
And the other one kills 3 players out of this unit. I mean, as unfortunate as it is to like lose frontage from the
Yeah.
mortal wounds, it is hilarious that these guys are just plowing through Harlequins.
It's such a strong ability, like especially combined with their ability to charge twice.
Yeah.
Did the Harlequin player pull all of his stuff out of engagement? Because if he did, he could just immediately turn on to charge again, and then also hit the Starweaver, or just charge again and hit Jeff Dester.
Not Jeff
You can get
Dester.
into combat.
Did he make the mistake?
You
He
can.
did pull out of combat.
Yeah.
Oh no, he could just charge again now and kill Jeff Dester for
You
free.
can hit that back with a Jester, but
Is he gonna do it though? That's
Yeah.
100% of his remaining CP.
That's a lot. Of CP. I don't know, maybe not.
anything.
The Death
else?
Because he
Jester's
can't-
like not
Yeah.
that important.
He didn't declare Jeff Dester, so he also cannot
Probably
then
spent CP anyway.
consolidate or pile into these 2
But I can
players
try this.
Yeah, you
this,
can.
because
Death
we
Dread
can't come
into
within an inch of
Skyweaver.
Jeff Dester.
Sure.
Yeah, you can do
Because he
that.
didn't
You
charge
can,
him.
you can get in within an inch on the consolidate. You
Rerolling.
just can't fight that guy.
Oh,
Again.
It's only the
correct.
charge. Only the
You're right,
charge
you're right.
one.
9, yeah.
Yeah, it has
Yep.
that restriction.
Does Jeff Dester threaten him? No.
No, he doesn't have a
No, he
melee
doesn't.
weapon. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Punches him
No,
with
the
some
de-
strength 3 melee attacks. Oh, the
Death
Def Dreads, the Jeff Dreads made their charge.
Here's
as well.
some Jeff Desters up here.
Yeah,
more like
right.
more
I
like
will
Def
activate the Wobbles
Dreadsters.
first.
Sure.
And yeah, it looks like the boys
Alright,
are staying. Yeah, okay, this unit's dead.
There we
That's,
go.
that's a lot. Yeah, I don't think
That
they-
changes the math.
They can get out of
6
all of these
attacks
guys.
plus 2 because of the.
And he does take the single claw.
Yeah, he does have a claw in there.
Yeah,
So
hitting you
a flat
on
3
twos,
damage, strength 4.
Yeah.
Oh, strength.
Rerolling.
That's not big exciting.
everything.
Yeah, they do not
hitting
have
you
the
on
base.
twos.
They're basically just a Space
Rerolling
Marine right now with more
everything.
stats. Done like 1 less in
Yep.
every line.
Well,
Oh,
What is
that's the squad.
What is the Warboss reroll its hit rolls from?
The warlord trait. The warlord trait that gives him +1 damage is
Yeah.
also reroll all hit rolls on
It's
charge.
4 damage.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
Because
pretty
I've
good.
charged.
Yeah, that dude
Okay,
has, when he's
then
fully
my
juiced
step
up
set
off
will
of the weird boy,
activate.
has 9 attacks, strength 14, rerolling all hits, all wounds at -3/4 damage.
Yeah. Also,
He,
Alright,
he
these
is
are-
Move
these are
further
some
to you.
spectacular and vulnerable saves off these Harlequins.
You know.
At 4
he's slightly overcosted at 115 points, but you know, players are still trying to make him work. You know,
he has to take your warlord trait, your powerful
moves
orc
these
warlord
6
traits that you
inches,
always
yeah.
take. You know,
Maybe
all those warlord
a
traits.
bit behind. Okay.
it is interesting that every single warlord trait is based on buffing a war boss, except for the one that lets your mech.
Yeah, then I would like to activate the
think-
scrapjet.
No, that one lets your war boss act like a mech.
Yeah.
They're all just for the war boss.
Yeah, that's
You
how
can
we,
also take.
That's how we work in Tyranids too. Like every warlord
Last
trait
time
is
we're
really
here
good
that
on
you
a
can
hive tyrant
hit,
and
yeah.
nothing else.
And he also takes your relic when you could be taking the relic that
plus
you give
4
to the weird
attacks.
boy to give him +1 to his casts.
Oh,
With
no.
Force. Deska
Okay.
reroll.
That's
You
a
know,
little bit better.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
flat +4 and then
Okay.
paralysing on a 7 is what everyone wants.
Times.
Ooh, okay. Well,
Okay,
the
so-
Megatrack
All right.
Scrapjet has just peeled Jeff Dester's squad off the table. It's now Jeff
Yeah,
by
that's-
himself.
Unfortunately, we cannot fight Jeff, which means we cannot actually
Yeah,
take
I
this
don't know,
objective.
but I think I can't hit.
Did we?
this
Did the commandos
Jeff
fail a
Jester
charge? Did they try to
because-
charge?
No, he not
I imagine
did-
not.
he
They were
did-
scrambling.
he not charged him.
Yeah.
The commandos are deploying a scrambler.
Yeah, so they would not
They're
want to.
busy, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, because of the mechanic. I mean, but it's fine.
Yep.
Can you
Unfortunately, we
send
cannot
the
fight-
Scrapjack
To fight again?
to fight again? Because it can still
I
finally
believe-
consolidate, right? So you can swing
Yeah,
it
it
around.
ha-
I guess
Okay.
It actually has to.
Are you based, Death Jester?
Yeah, I based.
It was a charging unit, so I believe it
I
could
mean,
just
it's
do it.
meant to be based, but
Yep, sure. No worries. No worries at all.
It's like we're orienting to try and fight Jeff Dester, which you
Um,
cannot do.
yeah, I think.
Yeah,
since
he
we
just based
can-
him so he doesn't move. I think basing the Starweaver is actually a play though, because then it can
But
advance.
I can wait.
Oh, now we're
I
rethinking.
can
All right.
consolidate because
Yeah, I think we moved.
Yeah,
too
we
much
base
we,
both.
because I
go
want
6
to-
inches around. Yeah, we touched that Starweaver.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it's such a
severely-
powerful custom ability.
Severely
custom
limits
job.
its
well,
mobility.
it's my fault. It's my fault. I talked for engage. I need another.
You know, assuming it doesn't kill you.
I'm totally wrong, but yeah, I
It's
would
5
just
attacks.
go into the Starweaver as well.
Sure. He attacks back. 3 hits, some 5s. 1 wound.
Oh, did we were we wrong last turn? Did that? I guess that
One
Death Copter
damage? Yeah.
actually did die.
Yeah.
6.
It's not on the table. I was wondering because I couldn't
Okay.
find it a little
Yeah,
while ago.
weird.
So
know what we
spending 2
missed there.
CP.
Maybe they had rolled it out and
no,
just not
it's
removed them all yet.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like
I was gonna be
these
shocked
Harlequins
if that guy
are-
survived.
yeah, that would have been a real bad roll.
Ridiculous.
Then I get.
The
2
players would have
for
made more noise
engage.
about that one.
Stranger things have happened. But
Yep.
Just press on your clock,
Yeah,
right?
definitely not killing these scrap jets. Not a good idea.
yeah. Oh boy.
If there is a unit in 40k you want to kill,
Yeah.
it's those.
yeah, those
They're not hard to kill, and they are.
Yeah,
Boy,
well,
are they!
the fusion
They're
pistols are
basically
still-
so they get eight
Yeah.
8 power, like effectively Thunderhammer attacks
Yep.
each. Or no, they're power fists because they're D3 in combat. And then
Power Fists
you
are
know,
2 now, so these are they're a little bit better even.
oh yeah, yeah, especially with Deathclaw or Death Skulls. Plus the 5-ish missiles they shoot, plus the 12 big shooters they shoot, and like the 3 D3 mortal wounds they're capable of, up to 43
Mhm.
with the right scenario. Like it's you gotta kill these things.
Yeah.
They are much. They have only 3 more wounds than a smash-a-gun. Basically as hard to kill as smash-a-guns are. Or sorry, yeah, about as easy to kill. And drastically more damage output.
Valdor in chat, how's it going, dude?
Hey,
Valdor hanging out, resting on his laurels at second place in the season 2 standings right now.
Both back.
Hopefully getting ready
Yeah.
to Let's play an Invitational. Starting
3 inches explosions.
end of January.
Right?
Yep. Right.
So making sure everything is outside of 3 inches.
Eldor, the keeper of our stats as well.
Yeah, you gave me the 10 points. Thanks.
We haven't seen Orks in a finals match since Pi 2. Yeah, that was Torin, right? Or Hipster. Was it Hipster?
I feel like Orks are poised to perform better if players start playing them. They have, especially after the most recent Forge World Compendium, they have a good number of interesting builds. They really got a lot of like unit alternatives in there. Not even just the kill tanks.
Confusing Torin and Hipster, like two people who used to play Orcs and play each other all the time.
Yeah.
And I always call them the same name. I apologize because I love them both dearly. Hipster, who put triggered effects on all of his orc vehicles so that they had like exhaust fumes and shot rockets and stuff. Amazing. Valdor, I don't know if you saw, but on the invitational site, tts40k.com/invitational, the map pool has been listed. I took out the maps that have the highest go first win percentage, essentially. And also, which fortunately included Vital Intel, because I hate that mission with a passion, so get rid of that. Despite it being the finals of the Season 1 Invitational, which was very fun. And ultimately showed us how powerful Judiciaries are.
A lofty height that they are struggling to maintain now.
Yeah, they've definitely taken a hit with only a 3-inch aura instead of a 6-inch. But they still see some play. They see some play in Space Wolves.
Yeah. They're much more matchup dependent rather than just being a very undercosted Smash Captain that also makes everyone in a giant area go last against you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's unfortunate that games.
Go ahead.
Oh, good. Okay, it's unfortunate Games Workshop seems afraid of things that aren't multiples of 3. Like giving that guy a 4-inch aura feels like that would have been set, because then you're like,
I think
it affects outside
ability.
of his.
I think I'm okay with a 3-inch aura. Like 6 inches.
It's awkward on a character because like if you're getting hit by that, you're also within his heroic intervention range, for the most part.
Well,
but, like,
I think the idea is that
it's easy to just avoid.
You have walked into his heroic intervention range before.
Yeah.
Because there's many ways to give him a 6-inch intervention, right? So one of them is just playing.
I suppose that's
Yeah,
that's why it's just Space Wolves all the time.
Yeah, Valdor, I agree with you. Priority target. I think all of my closest games in 9th edition have been on priority target because it awards you so many freebie points.
Yeah, it's a great take against armies like Space Marines that their kill secondaries are kind of a non-viable choice.
Yeah, and it's so it just it just balances the matchup so well. I wish it was. It was like maybe if it was 2 points at a time or something, it was just like a freebie scramblers. Then maybe it's a little bit better, but that's what it is.
Also, sometimes you just forget to take it in your pod finals. And you're just down 12 points on one of your objectives. Yeah,
and then
in front of everybody.
By exactly not having that many points. Yeah.
Yeah, you realize it literally on the first turn when you look at your opponent's score, and you're like, oh wait, it's this map.
Freeze.
I failed you. I'm sorry.
That was the.
I failed you and the Death Guard.
That was the Patron Pod Finals.
Yes,
Everybody.
sorry.
You can go watch that. The VOD's still up on the Twitch.
1-3 without.
I bet. What if there were fewer secondaries to choose from?
3 was out.
And they just made the ones that existed useful.
What if? All right, hear me out on this one.
if?
What if they were exactly the same number as there were in the ITC packet, and also everything
Like
was
it.
the same as the ITC packet?
Yeah.
-1.
Brilliant. Print it. Call it GT20. Call it GT2020 and just like recall the other books.
GT2021. We're doing it, everybody. It's just a Google Drive document that anybody can access for free. And you can watch the design team edit in real time. That was my favorite part.
Also,
Is
while you're
when
doing it,
is when the FLG team would just go in and edit the the Google Drive document. You can just watch them do it. Amazing.
While we're at it, get rid of I go, you go deployment and put turn 6 back in, and you know, we're all good. Yeah.
All things
So-
that
suddenly
were in
first-
the ITC
If you
bracket.
mind, I spend a CP here.
Yeah, we're like back to 50-50
Yeah,
win
you can
rates.
do this.
Going first does not really just determine a lot.
Amazing. Be incredible.
1, 6 up.
Then you just FAQ all of those codex secondaries and just give them all the line delete this line.
Oh yeah. Or just let them, not not
Measuring
allow
by my
them in.
hull. To do staking
okay.
the money.
Yeah, put them in the crusade rules.
Yeah.
3.4 and 4.4. So I'm in mental range.
So we have
That's
picked
my
off the commandos in the back with Skyweaver shooting. Looks like we're pushing a Skyweaver and a Starweaver, excuse me, and a Skyweaver onto Objective 5. We're going to try to take these Smasher guns out, unless we take Haywire into the Boy
Cautions.
Squad, which may be a game plan.
The conceptual entity of competitive wargaming has said, are you talking about proper missions and secondaries? Don't start me training. So even competitive wargaming, as a concept, you know.
Force. 2, no AP.
Wait.
Yeah, that's been
confusing.
unfortunately the that's been everything I see when I close my eyes every night now.
Okay,
It's
got
just
See, this
just
is-
the ITC Google
Yeah,
Drive
just a shot.
document appears in front of me and scrolls.
this is why I don't
slowly
take-
for 6 hours.
This is why I don't take the Clawmandos. Because that
they're-
claw
they
landed
just
and
die.
then walked back off the side of the table.
Yeah.
Just from incidental firepower.
Fancy.
It's a unit with no save.
Mhm.
It's going to fail most of its leadership
Yep.
checks.
Into this
You know,
one.
even if they shoot you down to just that boss dub, I mean, he only has leadership of 7. He's probably still going to fail.
There, so it's just 5.
Megatrack down to 1 wound after the fusioning. It's like we're taking what, mortals
the
from
scrambler,
Jeff now?
the scramblers have been scrambled. Yeah. So the Troop Master did use its Sky Strider to
Yeah, to go
disembark on Objective 1. So it looks like we're going to
Six.
try to use him to
Eight,
knock off the
Eight,
wounded
enough,
shock
yeah.
jump, and hopefully get the fusion to kill this other
Exploding.
one, which they do.
Looks. Yep.
Oh boy!
You just shock jump to the great beyond.
Right off the table.
Yeah.
Fun fact: if you assault a shock jump Dragsta, they lose the ability to teleport.
Because they can't advance him.
Yep. And they are not good in combat.
They also interestingly
think
can't
he's
charge
infused.
after they teleport, which I was reminded yesterday.
Wait,
Yeah.
I can check. What I see
Yeah, that's one of
behind
the big downsides of the Dragsta is if you want to advance the unit, say you want to get
Yeah.
close for a charge, you have to risk the teleport. The teleport is not optional,
Mhm.
and if you teleport, then you have to land outside of 9 inches.
Yeah, you can bounce yourself backwards sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. So you can take a 2-inch charge and turn it into a
Yeah.
9-inch charge.
I think are very appropriately a really cool
Let's
way
fall back
to
now, yeah.
represent sort of the inconsistency of orc technology.
These 3.
Because you're like, it's very powerful. You could place this model anywhere on the table. It has potentially infinite move, but sometimes it just goes where you don't want it to.
Yeah, it's also the advance on the 4, 5, and 6 too.
A bit.
So you you can't. You also just can't advance very fast with them without doing it. So it's a unit that you essentially like. Combat is a foreign concept to a shock jump Dragsta. Like that's a thing that happens to them, not a thing they do to somebody.
Right. Can you use the auto teleport after you shoot in melee?
He shoots into structure.
No. Well, the teleport
Is
the
this
teleport
faster?
happens as a advance move. It just makes them advance. So if you can't advance normally, I do not believe you can stride it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we are both.
I could be wrong on that though. I don't remember the exact wording of it.
Yeah, you have meta range, yeah.
Valdor, yeah, it is very likely that this Troop Master is not on the table
Yeah,
after
12
this
would be
turn.
fine.
He'll probably be inside this Starweaver.
It worked.
They use the Soaring Spite strat to embark back into a transport after
I
each
think I
race.
forgot nothing to shoot, so time to charge.
Were he to stay
This one into
on the objective though, that would deny the objective for the orcs. Their
Sorry,
turn.
what? Bring me water. Okay, this one?
That is true, yeah. It
the
opens you
Troop
up to
Master
potentially
charges.
get
The
hit
Troop
by
Master.
these boys,
Yeah, yeah.
though.
Judgment, that's
Or
the,
just,
I
like,
mean, I don't-
you
I don't
accidentally
know that
die
being
to
inside-
I
it.
can place him here. I think I
Being
can.
inside of this Starweaver, I don't know that that's
Yeah.
particularly much extra defense for him
Pretty
right now
hard, I
anyway.
think.
But
Like the
they can't hurt him if he's inside the Starweaver.
They can if they blow up the star.
I'm
If
09.
they
Charge
shoot it to death, sure. Yeah.
They have not been having a hard time with that so far.
Can place them in the wall? Ah, yeah, inside there. Yeah, okay.
Travis, fine as well.
Yeah,
The
I
wall's
think-
unstable, so you can't end a move overlapping it.
He isn't overlapping it, he's just tightly fitting beneath.
I think that might be the objective marker.
Fun fact: the
The
Megatron.
intention is that you can't end inside the windows, basically.
Oh, okay, that's the intention. Yeah, then I don't try it, of course. Just give me a check if I'm in an in.
Gotta make those doorways a little
here.
smaller.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you can see it over here. The windows actually have a little ledge underneath them. It's just covered by the objective marker in this one. That's actually, and yeah, you can see it over here too. That's actually a sort of interesting technology that the WTC maps have popularized is making a wall area terrain, but then putting gaps
Right.
inside the
Check the
physical
wall
wall
right here.
itself. So you can still move things like
Right.
bikers and stuff that doesn't normally have the ability to move through
4
walls.
inch
You can
charge.
give them a little bit
I'll
of
give it
a
a try.
I'm thinking
of mobility,
about
but
Overwatch. Oh, it's hard to kill this.
without really compromising
I get more dangerous
the
if you
defensive
just
aspect
move
of the wall. I think I kind of like it. We may move to a WTC style maps in season 3,
He will be gone anyway.
tactical
when
tourist
it's
events.
2 CPs here.
but I would have to.
I will spend one
I'm
CP
gonna have
with
to make my
those,
own because
drop
I
from
don't,
Quickstar.
I don't really like the
Sure.
generic ones.
The first 2 shots.
Is this shock jumped? Or not shock? Is this smash gun?
one
We're already
death
fighting, I suppose, so it doesn't
cover
really matter. Oh no, wait, that's a charge. Is this
one
is this smash gun wrappable?
And the rocket.
By 2 models.
Like if the
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, because it's got
And
this like
wounding you on
starfish
twos.
awkward shape with the grots who themselves
death
can
cover.
like
1 wound.
can create little caves that you
That's
can't get
the
out of.
P6 one, is it? No, but
Yeah,
doesn't
it's a
matter.
B6 one. Yeah.
There's the 6.
I mean, then the Starweaver just taps it, and
Oh,
the Troop
that's
Master
fine.
finishes off the shock jump, turns around,
That's
taps
fine.
the smash gun, and
Yep,
the two
yep.
of them are relatively safe. Can the Troop Master he can
Do the
use the
grots
strat to
count for stuff.
They do.
Oh.
It's really weird. Yeah, they are
So
they're a part of the model for all intents and purposes, but they
Yeah.
are separate based models,
Oh,
and they've never fully
Okay.
defined how it works. So like different,
That's just
like
something-
LVO, I think
Gotcha.
said that they had to be either
Okay.
glued to the model or on a big
Yeah,
base.
something
A lot of
that-
people in real life just put them all in a big base,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
but that's also not how the model works.
Right. Yeah, I've heard some
So
people.
it's very
like
awkward.
some tournaments have mandated that you cannot have them attached because
So-
that's that you can't have them on the same base.
Yeah.
You have to have them separately.
He's
Yeah, that's
charging
bizarre,
Mech
actually.
Gun and Red Boy.
So
And
I guess
if they are separate, then you can just do the thing.
I guess it may be possible
Rerolling
to.
for CP.
It's also like
Savage.
That'd be quite a
means when
play.
you move the
Yeah,
when you
so-
move the
so-
unit, you
so-
have to
so-
move like yeah to do it
Would be in a 3.
legally,
No, it wouldn't.
um
Going here,
you have to pick them all up at the
Yep.
same time.
going this way.
You're not allowed.
Yeah, it is
to
very
move
awkward
them
'cause-
individually legally. Very silly.
Yeah,
He goes there.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
yeah, it's a very strange. I mean, it's an old unit that existed, like, in the before time.
Yeah, just strange that you
Although
wouldn't,
actually-
you wouldn't just write an artillery crew rule for them, right?
Yeah.
Like every other.
Well, they
artillery
had
has.
one. They had one for a long time. It's very. They shied away from it when
And
in
this
early
one
8th
as well
edition.
would be big.
Like the basic
Okay.
orc cannon, like the 20-port artillery piece,
Yeah.
also had like two or three artillerymen on it, but they were
Yeah,
they were
I
using the old artillery
I want to
unit
take base.
ability.
Mhm.
Want to take it.
And oh,
So
tabletop
you
simulator
can't
crashed for me. I'll be back soon.
All right. Welcome.
Can I do an heroic intervention
alright.
here?
And what you would do is you would just take. This was before the rule of 3 as well. You just took like 100 cannons, which then had 300 attached individual grot models that you
just
couldn't
for
shoot
the-
at until you killed
discounts,
the
charging
the
these two.
cannon piece.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And it was just this like absurd manipulation of like the artillery rules. It's a terrible rule. Like, it's just used to like
7.
let other characters take actions and ignore their artillery piece.
Probably too
So I'm a
far.
fan of them removing it. I just wish that they more fully explained how it
Just
worked.
10 minutes here. Oh,
Yeah, Valdor, it is.
They're just shooting death threats.
It is very much like
One
old
claw
school
and
Warhammer
3 shots.
Fantasy battles.
So I have
You
3
have
attacks.
a separate
and
unit of dudes, and then the artillery piece. Like back in the day, they were like 2 separate units, and you could kill the crew, and the artillery piece would just sit there, not do anything for the rest of the game. You could
that's-
kill it.
that's like
but,
what
there's no
the-
reason to.
It's what the Thunderfire cannon does now, right? It's just it's impossible to actually do.
Well, the Thunderfire dies if the tech
Closer to
rays
him.
die.
That
Yeah.
can
I think a lot of
move
artillery just
around
gets removed if it's characters are
from
dead.
here and then disembark on the objective with troops if we can.
Yep.
Starting with the interesting stuff, starting with the Sky Reavers.
So it looks like the
hunting,
Skyweavers got into the Weird Boy. This could
Weird
be
Boy.
curtains for him, which would be brutal. That removes almost all of the mobility left in this Orc army.
I don't know if this Orc army was to jumping anyway. I feel like these boys we're probably gonna sit on objective 3 for the rest of their lives.
And force.
Well, that feels like a late game play to go and, like, as soon as you've removed enough of the Eldar army that they can't reasonably threaten 30 boys, like, you can start scoring that overrun by jumping.
I mean, we're in turn 2. This is the late game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the early game is
Yeah,
when you
you
roll to
need
go
to do
first,
this
and mid
anyway,
game is top of 1, and then
Yeah.
late game is
Starting with the Troop Master.
bottom of 1
One
onwards.
attack into the Shock Jump Dragster and the rest of his now 6 attacks.
Yeah,
left.
there goes that strange boy.
One
Did
attack
we,
into the car, hits.
And I am back in now. I can see
Welcome back.
Evelder, mortal wounds are great against Quins,
Dead.
especially when you are charging twice off a ramming speed mecha track scrapjet and throwing out 4d3 mortal wounds against
It is
whatever you want.
A lot of mortal wounds. Sonic Av, I think to jump is a mental play, so your opponent has to be worried about the deployment. I think a lot of times that's true, but it's especially true if your opponent has the ability to screen out the jump, because then they're sort of obligated to.
It's 6
But
damage
Harlequins
total
kind of
on the
just like
mech
don't.
round. It's 4 from
They're,
the...
They can do it a
weapons
little
and
bit,
two
but on
from
like a
Darkness
long
Spikes.
deployment and like a spread
Running a
scenario, they
CP?
just sort of don't have the ability
Yep.
to. So I think they just
Move
play
into
like it
my
doesn't exist and
target.
assume that they can kill the boys once they come out, or to hope that they can kill the boys once they come out. So it
Alright,
looks like
jumping back into the Star Weaver.
the plan was just to kill
Choosing
the
Death Jester?
gun with the Troop Master, and
3 attacks.
jump back into the Star Weaver. That Troop Master does so much damage. It's
How did we-
unsurprising that he does that.
4 attacks.
What killed the scrapjet? I thought not the scrapjet, the
Hits, 6s, 1 wound.
teleporty guy, Dragsta. I thought that was killed in combat by the Troop Master.
He shot it for 6 with his pistol,
Oh.
and then he
There you
probably
go.
allocated 1
Exploding.
attack and hit it with a Darkness Bite.
Oh.
If
That does
attack
it.
Didn't kill it, yeah. That guy, I mean, he's got a billion attacks and does mortal wounds at the end. Like he's just such a blender, especially against kind of mid-weight vehicles. Like
Ah, now I've noticed.
he's winning them on
an,
4s, like real
one
low,
down here.
and they can't save
Yeah.
and take 2 damage apiece. Yeah, he's
Let's
just
see the
his stat line is so good at killing them.
This is one of the reasons why I want to put the Death Dreads on the other corner, because now engage suddenly became a lot harder. Like Sans to jump, having lost the scrapjet over here, having lost
There are
the,
commandos remaining, so we get 1 more turn for free.
yeah,
Of at least 2 points.
but they
then
have
we have to
to,
start
yeah,
rolling.
yeah,
Yeah.
they have to scramble the midboard, but they can still pick up the.
Yeah, they can jump
Objective
like sort of in
two.
front of objective 2, right, and scramble the
Yeah.
midboard, and then
Yeah,
you can run the last
Is that raising the
scrapjet
difference?
into like objective 6 to get the full 3, I guess. You also have
Star
this
Weaver
war
over
When
boss.
you're
here.
done with fighting, or?
Yeah,
The war boss can at least for a bit do it, but there's so many fusion
guess so,
pistols
yeah.
on the table. Like this is the one matchup where he doesn't get to do
Okay, yeah,
whatever he wants for free,
Death Dread.
because he might just die to melted guns.
he can tank at least
Freeze.
1 round of like 1
Star
single
Weaver.
squad's fusioning, but not 2, and probably couldn't survive at the follow-up charge.
3 times.
I mean, they're wounding him on 5s with the caress. Do
That's flat 3
1.
damage, is it? No, it's
Yeah,
D6.
yeah. It's flat 3.
He might survive.
Flat 3.
Oh, the fight on death. Oh, there's no fight on death coming out of
Yeah, I
this.
guess competitive wargaming. That's actually true.
Dread
You
draw
can
melee, please.
you can use the grots to increase your
So you can
footprint for
take
screening.
you can take your invulnerable save or your
Because you only
just
measure
let
attack
them-
range,
Take my
attack
armor
range
flash
off
so
of
the
them.
car explodes.
Your other ranges
Yeah.
are measured
Yeah.
from them. That's
Explodes.
weird.
Yeah, it's a very unexplained, bizarre unit.
And then
My
it's-
orcs have all my favorite like model interactions. My other one is the Mech Boy Workshop,
Yeah, I just saw
which does not,
Yeah,
which is
which
just a
doesn't-
terrain piece.
Doesn't tell you how to set it up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a model composed of pieces that aren't glued together, which is not how models in 40k typically work.
Right.
And it doesn't tell you how close they have to be to each other,
Yeah.
but it has aura
Yeah.
effects. So you can just like
Sure, sure.
you could use it to just be this like spiky no man's land covering your entire deployment zone to cause mortal wounds to enemies as they approach. And as far as I could tell, that is just how it works. Not that anyone would, because it's awful, but you know,
Yeah.
it's a meme.
So
Everyone knows
awkward
memes.
interaction here. It looks like this Death Tread just killed the Starweaver by accident and jumped out Harlequin players on objective 5. So Orcs will lose that and not score primary on round 3.
Go away, blast.
Did they jump that far? Did they move that far out of the transport?
Yeah, 3 inches.
Well, I thought it was behind him. You're right. Yeah, it was the charge.
Mech on me.
Was that? You think that was an intentional play too? He like
Yeah, for sure.
you gotta be right to sacrifice it. Yeah.
Also, you stop that
Six, six.
Pretty clever.
Death Tread from shooting, and you know.
That's what you need.
Well,
Moving towards
stop it
objective.
from shooting something else.
Right.
Isn't enough.
Still gonna shoot.
Yeah.
It's already. I guess the players don't
Yeah.
natively have
Sure.
-1, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least.
Although
they're
I guess
a little easier.
the Death Tread,
Bring it down as max.
and it's an assault weapon, so it also just doesn't have -1 to hit.
Yeah.
So.
I'm about 20
just happening.
now. I think.
Yeah, maybe
348.
more.
Yeah. And
But then you are. Then you are 5.
Where do you think this war boss goes on the following turn?
Yeah,
You think he has to dash over to objective 1 and start trying to put in work over here?
No problem.
Like we try and shoot the Starweaver to empty its contents, and then he just charges the Troop Master maybe, or the players.
One small mercy
Are
the
there
Orcs
players
have
in here?
is that I think our prediction about this deploy scramblers might be coming true. I don't
The
I don't know
clock
Yeah.
when we have the opportunity to scramble here. Maybe this unit on
Okay.
objective 1 can start doing
What do you now?
it.
Need to
Assuming
scramble.
they can kind of deal with the stuff over here, but
Yeah, assuming that they survive the following turn. I mean,
Back.
yeah, like
one of these smash guns just charges the Starweaver, and like
even if the smash
I think
guns
that's the
kill the
problem.
Starweaver, right? Like
Goes.
they're not going to kill
Oh.
5 troopers.
Wait.
And
yeah,
a
they just
troop
charge it.
master.
Can
Is
I guess they can still just get out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can still disembark. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't
We'll
stop you.
just move. Yeah.
I feel like we're playing a little baby with the war boss. I kind of want that guy to just like go ham.
yeah. That dude needs to sail across the.
The fusion pits.
That guy needs to sail across the table and.
Because even if
That-
he like
yeah, that
burns
dude-
a Starweaver and then he engages like the other dudes, like they just shoot him to death, right?
He needs to like victory lap over here, kill the Starweaver, charge the troops, just kill them all with his charge, and then just be engaged with the troop. I do not think the troop master kills him. He does not have enough attacks to get through nine wounds on a 4-up invuln.
I think he does. He's gonna be at 8 now, plus 2 mortals.
Yeah, I mean that's still like
He's on 2s and
What?
then 4s with rerolls, or 5s with rerolls, I guess. Yeah, maybe not.
We have to move.
Yeah, toughness 7.
if he had just saved one of these CP too, we could have just fought on death on the guy and then killed him. And then this war boss kills the Starweaver and all of its contents in one go. This guy's such a blender. I think this one orc died to coherency a while ago.
Which
I don't know that it matters. The one that's outside the wall here.
No, he's got plenty of buddies. That's why he's blue.
You think he's easy within 2 of You see colors on him? I don't see colors right now. Maybe because I had to reload in.
Yeah, that's true. But Dr. King would be proud. Yeah, he's 1.2 away from the next guy, and 1.6 away from some other guy. Yeah, he's got like 3 buddies.
Alright, well, I don't eyeball anything at all ever. I'm bad at it. Why there's just 3 blue orcs in the squad too? What are these guys doing?
Oh, they have tank blister bombs. They have tank blister bombs.
Oh, okay. I always forget
That's
to use
clever.
those.
Yeah. Well, you should make them
It's
blue.
it's a free optional upgrade, which makes it not
I
optional,
think
and then you just forget to do it every
Yep.
time.
Yep.
Down
That's the
there.
downside of
just
some
make
of
them a
those
different
upgrades.
color.
There's definitely like I waste points in Tyranid list sometimes on like spine fists and random stuff because I just know I'll forget to use them. So like, why even put them in? Like I could
The
switch
tank
out this
blister
guy's
bomb
weapon
is-
for a slightly better weapon that's trades like reroll
At
ones
end
for
of
extra
movement,
AP. and
they
I'm like,
will
oh, I'm
shock
not-
here and scramble.
Tank Buster Bombs in Death Skulls are just so crazy powerful too.
Safe cat.
Interesting
Put it
drop
down,
for
Pen.
these tank busters. I don't know if I like this actually. You are just giving up, engaging all fronts.
Thanks.
Is there a place he could have dropped where that would not have
Plague
been the
Craze
case?
we don't have anymore.
Because keep in mind, he has to scramble with
Shooting.
this unit, so it has to be
No
somewhere.
jumping.
Here.
Yeah,
For
he
you,
just
boy.
drops by the obscuring
Easy.
terrain, I think, near
Okay, then I will
objective
shoot
2.
with.
You think this Star Weaver
29
doesn't just
pistols
casually
into
kill
the
them like
Sky
it casually killed the last set?
Well, they're gonna die anyway. Who cares? They don't have to survive the round. They just have to be able to drop there. He's got plenty of places to drop where he can grab the.
One
he can
death
get
guy
the,
reroll.
engage.
Oh no.
Kind of bomb.
Oh, you are correct, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got lots.
Yeah,
of
I
places
was
to
thinking of having to have a unit over here.
Yeah, I could also go by objective 6 somewhere. Maybe he's got.
Is he done moving? I mean, he's rolling enough dice, so probably not. Probably is done.
And winning you on
Are there any big charges
One
he's
death
pulling
guy
off?
reroll.
No. Yeah, I think
3
we just gave up
wounds.
2.
Yeah.
Possibly 4.
Saved.
And he rolled easily.
I mean, this Megatrack Scrapjet didn't go anywhere either. It's just that just hung out. That could have easily just walked over and picked up another 2 points.
Yeah.
Although I can't really criticize. I mean, I did
Mech
that to
gun will
myself in my own
Star Weaver.
finals game
That's
on
why
camera.
you're here.
so.
We talked about this. You're here to
One
criticize.
shot on
That's your
5.
job.
No. And
I
What are
just-
you
the other
doing?
mic gun.
No, I got off my
This is why
ivory
we
tower
pay
to
you
play a
the big
game, and then
bucks.
no,
One
I got off my
back
ivory tower to play that game, and then the ladder
2
broke, and I
hits.
can't get back up onto it because I did bad.
1 wound.
Yeah.
Played like a dumb idiot.
You realize your ivory tower
one
has
wound.
10,000 steps. You're like, I'm not getting back up there.
It's a lot easier to climb down the back up.
Four.
No, I've just deleted
Why didn't we
one.
install a?
I have 2 hits.
Why didn't we install an elevator? What's wrong with us?
No
That's
problem.
this. Then this Death Dread will hit this Star Weaver.
Yep, sure.
3 shots on 5s. 1 reroll. No. Wounding on 3s. 1 wound.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. This war boss is
Then the
Very
next
very
Death Dread
gingerly treated here.
Yeah.
That man needs to get out there.
will hit
I suppose
on-
they're relying on him to kill all the Star Weavers now, so I feel like the
Reroll.
boys could have pulled it off.
Yeah, the boys are gonna do it. I think.
Reroll for Death Skull. 1 wound on your Star Weaver again. Okay.
Pop again.
Yeah. Then I will start with the Scrap Jet. With tranche 5 weapons into your players.
Yep.
And the rest into your Skyweaver. I will start.
I do like the overcommit
tranche
into the
5
players
weapons.
though.
They don't get -1 to
4+
hit, right?
invulnerable save
No,
can
no,
randomly
no,
just
no.
spike super high.
Then
You're just
Everything
gonna
on the
ensure
flag,
that they die. Like you got the scrap shot, you got the war boss,
six
you
shots
got a
on
death
4th
dread. Like
then.
you're gonna
One
get 'em.
Daka. Wounding you 5 times.
Yay.
Gorsk OTG. Am I gonna post the Tyrants versus Orc match? It's up in the
Then
VOD
another
section.
6 shots.
I'm not gonna put it on
Yeah,
YouTube
true.
or anything, but you can watch it while it's
2
up in the
times
archive
Daka.
section, which is for 2 weeks.
Very close game.
It was close.
2 wounds on your player again.
Yeah, it was a fun game actually.
4
Super
outs.
tactical.
1 still alive. And working.
Then the missile into your Reavers. No. Then 2d3 shots.
Not much has been picked up off this table. We're not even at turn 3 yet.
6s. 1 death guy reroll.
It has been a bloody game, that's for sure. And this is
I
a
think the Harlequins-
Death Dread.
this is style of orc list that kind of
into your
engenders like, a bloody
Skyweaver.
game because you have to trade into it. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of
Oh yeah.
requires you to come fight
1
it.
death guy reroll. No.
I think these Quins should have maybe taken grind them down rather than
What I do with
Uh,
the
Scramblers?
smasher gun here.
Nah, Quins have such an MSU style. Like they have, it's
Well,
you can
I
easily
mean, that's-
lose that one.
they do, but I mean like not as what does this orc army have? 25, 30 different units?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean we're looking at
It's just-
5 units
It was
from the
shoot
race
until you
cars,
start Weaver.
8
So if it was-
8 off the depth treads,
It's like
15 then from the smash guns.
It's a
Shots.
secondary that requires aggression, though, and that's something that
Fives.
Harlequin players, I think, don't usually like to do, so that they can kind of
Yeah.
One
do whatever they
Daka
want. That said, Deploy Scramblers also
did-
does that, and I
one
think that's
hit,
probably why it's
one-
not that good.
and 1 wound.
Yeah. I feel like they would have. I believe that
Yeah.
they've been up on every turn so far, and I don't see that changing.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
Do you
But
see
also there might
damage?
be, I mean, especially late game, there might just be turns where the Harlequins try not to engage at all.
Yeah. While We Stand is one that Harlequin
Okay.
players play a lot, and I think they would have done okay here. Because I think it hits the Shadow Seer, the Troop Master, and you get like
Think
1
that
star
was
when
my
you hide in the back.
shooting.
That's never gonna die.
Both hand and weapon.
And you usually get at least 10 off of it. The Troop Master dies sometimes, but the Shadow Seer and the Star Weaver are usually fine.
Oh wait, he has Daka guns. Yeah.
Unless you're like just losing anyway.
The Stark Army had
Daka guns into your
has
player.
20 separate units. No, I'm sorry, 23. I forgot how to get right. It has 23 separate units.
This is 4 shots.
You got 5 race cars, 6 smashes, 3 depth dreads, 3 characters,
5s.
2 commandos, 2
Death
2 of the
Guard
def
reroll.
copters.
1 Daka.
Like there's,
3s.
I think I take
1
grind them against this
Death
Orc
Guard
Army in
reroll.
every
1
game,
wound.
Go up.
almost regardless of what I'm playing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So many of its picks are
Okay,
like
then
free
we
kills,
have-
like
It is
the
interesting.
commandos
The
or the
charge
def
phase.
copters or the
It-
gruts.
It is interesting in an Orc Army that fades.
My Warboss into your Skyweaver.
What do you call it?
Yeah.
Thin their ranks. I wonder if that's one of the reasons that we don't see more orcs on the table.
Death Dread.
Because they're the only thing that really
Wait,
gets it
the
up.
Scrap Chat first.
You can
I mean,
lose,
them and
you
Gaunt Carpet.
you can. Well, I mean, in this list, I mean, you can lose.
Oh yeah,
There's only 2 units that are affected by it, which are the Gretchen and the boys, and everything else is just 1 point for it.
I mean I
Scrap
don't
Chat,
like.
good player.
Yep.
1 4+.
I almost never see that
No.
taken anyway. Because it's so hard to even get a
And-
reasonable score on that.
Well, against like an orc spam, like a green tide kind of thing, you get it every time.
To be
I
safe.
typically run about
Sorry
100
about the
boys.
lonely
Don't you need
players buying all of
150
this
models to
and
max that up?
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
So, and that's like
I would
150
start
is like
with the
well
Death Dread.
into like legitimate horde territory, and you don't typically kill all of them. I mean, you kill a lot, but that's like even in the best scenario, that's usually like a 10 pointer.
Yeah, then I would
You're not
activate
most of the time you're not
my
looking at tabling
Warboss
all
first.
150 plus their like green tide. It's pretty unrealistic to kill all of them for a lot of lists.
Yeah, but it's one that sort of scores passively because you have to kill the
Mhm.
boys, and you don't have to do anything different to score it. Like you just have to kill boys, and
6 saves.
you're kind of running into
Yeah.
it. Also, it disincentivizes green tide as well because you can double score off people. Like green tide immediately scores you like 40 if you can kill a unit again.
Yeah. Do the green tided unit, if you say you have 15, you kill 15 and bring back 30, does that 15 that you killed via the green tide disappear, or does that count as casualties?
Then
I think they are destroyed.
yeah,
I
the
don't
Scrap
really
Chat.
know.
Yeah, sure.
I've never had anyone actually take it against me. It never.
Yeah, well, I don't think you play lists that are susceptible to it.
3 wounds.
But I think a
all
lot
the
of
orc lists I'm playing
Yeah.
currently have all the lists I'm playing now have like 100 plus models in them.
Yeah, that's like low side for orcs.
Story told
That's
today.
true.
He will move 6 inches over here.
I feel like they need to slightly rewrite that ability though. It almost feels too weak.
Okay.
Like unless you're fighting against a true
yeah, that's
horde,
it then.
Yeah.
Me.
which has no
I can
like a
use
reasonable
that.
other kill
3
like
inches
kill
here for
secondary to
models
take.
as well.
Yeah, I guess
Because they're not going to be
the
full
only
of
models that are
vehicles or
returned
anything.
to the unit are the destroyed ones. So
Okay,
think
I
that
don't point.
I don't think you
engage.
double count the
It's like-
the models
yeah.
that were
First one,
already
I
there,
have
which
already,
doesn't
yeah.
make
It's
sense.
removed from the table, right?
Yeah, it's removed from the battlefield.
Yeah.
Which is
It used to be even worse because
how it
like
works.
previously they lost their chapter tactic when you used it.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh my god.
What a bizarre interaction that is. Yeah, it feels that honestly feels like a very weak secondary to me. Like it's so rare that it's useful, and in cases where it's useful, your opponent typically doesn't have the units for a different kill secondary anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like
So I think we're seeing Harlequins do Harlequin things here. We've maxed out Scramblers on the Orc side. They missed engage on all fronts that turn. I think that was a miss. That was 2 points. We just gave up.
they maxed out what?
Scramblers. Scramblers. I'm sorry.
Okay. I didn't understand the word. You
Yeah,
said the
yeah.
first time.
That secondary wasn't listed on their score sheet. I don't know what's going on. It says Scramblers right there, clearly. So that was just 2 points that we missed out there. But the Harlequins got a 15-point primary turn, so they're up 26 points currently. Or 25, I guess, because we have an extra Scrambler. So even if they don't max their Scrambler, it's looking pretty good for Harlequins.
Yeah, these smashes do not lose anything by moving. I am surprised that they're not all on objective 1 at this point. They've had multiple turns to move 3 inches. I mean, honestly, you could have just started one of them inside of the terrain piece.
The idea is that we're trying to move them to get line of sight into stuff on objective 2, which, in fairness, they have been getting. They've been taking shots at the Star Weaver. It hasn't been doing much, but they've been doing it. Looks like this Harlequin Trooper is going to come out and maybe deploy some Scramblers over here in the center.
Fun fact, you cannot teleport a Smash Guns unit. Makes me sad.
Interesting.
Can't do it. Can't do it to Killicans either. That would actually make No, it wouldn't make Killicans viable because they're garbage, but it'd be a funny meme play.
Yeah.
It'd actually be better to teleport the Smash Guns. You just drop them all on your opponent's back line, and
also means
they have to turn around and somehow deal with 30 wounds and stuff.
You can't teleport that Grot tank with 1 billion flamethrowers on it.
Oh, that's plenty of space.
Oh no, you can't. Oh, that was my whole plan with that thing.
Yeah.
So, outside of the
I'll have to check to see if that is a Gretchen unit. It probably is. You can't teleport the Grot tanks, although the only places the Grot tanks should teleport into is the dumpster next to your house. One of those things with a big shooter costs about as much as one of these Star Weavers.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think I'm so curious about this overrun pick from the Orc player, because I think that that is a legitimate pick for many Orc lists, like the Green Tide list.
Yeah. You
can sit dudes on objectives for days. Like, you're just running 1,000 models at your opponent's deployment zone, and eventually you're going to beat them off one of their objectives and start scoring that. But this is not a resilient Orc list. It's a lot of toughness 5 and 7 vehicles.
I don't 100% get it. It feels like a pick that the player's probably used to taking. And maybe they just try and overwhelm one flank with 5 race cars, the biker, and the dreadnoughts, and then they just they just take objective 2 and they just hold it for the rest of the game, which I feel like they could have done. Were early game choices slightly differently made. But I don't know that you take that into this matchup. This is
do you
they're too thorny?
Think that maybe we thought it was scored at the end of your turn instead of your command phase when we read it for the first time? Because I've made that mistake before. Or the first time I played the mission, I made that mistake. I thought that was sick, but it is actually bad.
I mean, it's possible. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to. That'd just be a split decision, right? I mean, and there's got to be other better choices that you would just default to instead of an unknown an unknown secondary you're reading for the first time now out of the 400 that you have to scroll through in this interface.
Yeah, I mean, given how this game has gone, even Bring It Down, while normally being terrible against Harlequins, you've already killed 2 Star Weavers.
Is it terrible?
One of them's
I would always take it. I suppose that's also very dependent on your army's mobility for whether it can be good or not. You need the ability to get behind these ruins and actually kill these Star Weavers, but I would certainly take that a lot of the time.
Yeah, but it also forces
free
the
10
Harlequin
points.
player to play
Free 12.
much more cagey.
Yeah.
And I mean, you do have these.
Yeah, I mean, there's no hiding these Star Weavers against this army.
Yeah,
that's a free 12.
The shock jumps will come in and nail
the shock jumps, the depth dreads, the mega tracks can just go far enough to go around these walls and eventually hit them. The war boss has a 30-inch threat range. You can just do it.
I really want somebody to get back here and ping the 1 wound off of this guy on objective 4. Please, somebody just put it out of its misery. I need that to get a little bit too excited and eat 1 smash gun that rolls 1.
Can we roll once or what?
Oh, I thought 2
I mean, given the board state here at this point, I think I only see that coming if he forgets the commando unit is here and they just charge somehow, or if the war boss takes 2 turns of
3 damage
movement. I mean, I guess because he didn't put the war boss. He didn't put the war boss in the Evil Sun's detachment, which is just such a strange choice. It already has a 4-up invul, and it already rolls all of its hits and wounds.
Could advance a charge, right? Or does he do that for vehicles?
Yeah.
He does do that for vehicles, but he didn't do that for the vehicles. He doesn't.
Well, not this game.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I suppose he would oftentimes go up with them.
Yeah.
they already like ramming like what
One
ramming
more
speed. They are. I mean, if
0 AP.
well, they would never be in the Evil Sons detach
It
anyway.
doesn't matter for me.
Yeah, I suppose that does help.
Despite the generic
Yeah,
boss warbike being not very good, do you think there's ever an argument to be made to take two and you know, leave one as a counterpunch and send one up to fight?
Do you think this vehicle?
No, I think if you're taking two of them, you just instead of taking the war boss on bike, you just take the mega or no, the trike, who's also 115.
Yeah.
But has like what 2 multi-melta, 6
It's
shots,
got a bunch of guns.
automatic. Yeah,
So
costs
everything
a little
like-
bit less. Ends up roughly in the
damage,
same
sure.
damage territory if the war boss has to take a power claw but can't take any of the warlord traits or anything that buffs it out, because the trike rerolls its failed wounds, so
Right.
it doesn't have
So this vehicle.
quite the same hitting power,
it's only
but
like
with the
15
rerolls,
damage
it
attack,
tech.
right?
To the boys.
Yeah, they end up being pretty mathematically similar, but the trike just has the the melta guns attached.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. That def killer. So that is the commandos taken out by the Starweaver over here,
For that.
Yep.
and we start peeling boys
Running
off.
CP for Fire and Fate.
Well, these boys are kind of out of position, so I'm not really sure what they're doing anyway. They're 20.
I mean,
inches
once we're
out
past-
from the Starweaver, so they need
Or
basically,
HQ choices are
basically
also
need 15 on a 3d6 to
to try and make
on
it to the Swan Starweaver.
Yeah, to make it on the one
Bringing
objective one.
Malthus into this one.
Yeah, that's the real downside of relying on to jump for your unit's mobility. If you ever lose, like,
Yeah.
there's so many ways where that dude can just kill himself, let alone get shot. Like, he's the game's most snipeable HQ choice as well.
Yeah.
And the moment that happens, you're stuck back there. Especially since these are not Evil Sons boys, and there is no foot boss, so they
Right.
can't advance in charge, and they're not very
Right.
fast.
And
That.
nine.
There's the loss of like the new war bike for the fact that its stats are better and it makes vehicles advance in charge. It no longer makes the troops advance in charge.
Oh, does it not?
And-
oh, yeah, so they
No,
can't even
no.
make that charge. Ooh.
No, they can't. So like foot boys, like without the jump, have really just fallen into obscurity. Like they're not good.
Yeah,
You'll see them with Gazgul
There's
now,
a unit,
but
unit of 6 troopers up here, top left chat. They're deploying a scrambler in the center.
I reroll if I need to.
And then I think we have a unit in this
cool.
Starweaver to deploy the final scrambler.
Oh.
On objective 1. So it looks like we have the ability to do that without having to dance our way back into the back line. Or Virtuoso of the Webway, is that the stratagem to redeploy, I think?
So?
Charges.
yeah, one of the reasons why you don't see foot bosses, and you're starting to see Gazgul more often, even though he's probably still a fair bit overcosted, is the fact that this bike boss is taking basically all of your warlord traits
Right.
and relics. Although he can't take the warlord traits, Gazgul's in, which is unfortunate. And then Gazgul just has he has a better, more consistent advance in charge aura because he moves faster than a basic boss. He works outside of Evil Sons, so you're able to take a non-Evil Sons army with him.
Outside of Goths.
Yeah, outside of. Oh, he still provides. Does he provide the
He's
advance in charge
totally
outside of
enough.
Goths? You're right. It might be just that. It's just
Totally
the
enough.
reroll one Zora that's outside of Goths.
Here we go.
I have no idea.
He probably has clan locked on that.
Yeah, competitive wargaming. I think the
what's
blast
the
has been
stats?
mitigated
That was a
pretty much
separate
here, and I don't think the Harlequin player really cares about these models anymore
Reroll
remaining.
3, so they're
There's
8 attacks.
nothing that is going to come back here to threaten this objective, so this Starweaver can just chill there forever and hold it. And he doesn't really need them to do anything else this game because he doesn't need them to
It
deploy
is-
scramblers again or
It's dead.
run anywhere.
Also, that blast just like
Yeah.
tumbled off the table anyway.
Well, we do still have 2 smasher guns on 5 that could maybe shoot them
Can they?
someday.
Enemy.
Not eventually. Well,
Yeah,
Why not the rest of this
line
game?
sight's a little
So,
tough.
activating
Yeah.
discount.
And the ones on objective
base
1 were
drop.
being murdered by the Smash Troop Master. So it was a pretty safe play to bring them out, I think.
And hitting your threat. 3 attacks.
the Smash Gun does not have the infantry keyword, right? Even though because they removed that because it's
Yeah, I think they're vehicles.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was wondering for a moment if you could just jump those.
The obscuring, the crater terrain, the smoky bits
Oh, no,
are obscuring. And dense cover.
Ah,
We sort of split our obscuring terrain between dense cover and and standard ruin walls to mitigate indirect fire stuff a bit, and also allow vehicle lists some way to hide behind stuff without having to run over walls. Which I think
dropping the
is a downside for the like the WTC style maps. Like, there's no way to move vehicles around obscuring terrain. It's just there.
Yeah, the WTC maps are essentially just digitized versions of real-world terrain layouts, which are like a terrain layout like this is a little bit hard to do in real life because you have to be very clear that say these because there's no smoke effects in real life generally.
Yeah, there are.
Just
by cotton batting on a base.
I thought you were gonna say set the terrain piece on fire.
Yeah, just a lighter. I got one in my pocket.
Yeah, but it's a little bit hard to, or at least people aren't used to it yet, creating these terrain pieces that you can not see through, but you can freely move through.
Yeah.
And the WTC maps are, you know, basically the end of 8th edition ITC standard maps still.
Yeah, they're I think they use the 9th edition mechanics a little bit better than like just wrote 8th edition terrain will.
Yeah, they're just L's.
Yeah, and also like the ITC, like the ruins like assume ITC rules and stuff.
Yeah.
They also don't have like enormous bases on them, so the obscuring rule on area terrain doesn't like mess up.
Blast again.
Where you're like, oh hey, this like the curb outside my, you know, on the sidewalk outside my building 10 feet away also blocks line of sight somehow, you know. They don't do that, which is nice.
Or you step on that curb and suddenly someone can shoot the house at you.
Scoring, I got engage on
engage 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Bring it to 8. I scrambled the second time. Bring it down is fine, and passing turn.
So yeah, down to 0 primary on the orc side again.
0 points again.
Dominate.
1 inch.
Primary condition really killing them.
Yeah, I think dropping the depth dreads back, say, like conservatively his own deployment zone is going to have ended up being a majorly consequential decision. Like if they were back here by objective 2, their ability to freely leave objective 2 with the players and just leave the Star Weaver on it is gone. Like these Star Weavers in the first place would all be dead by now.
Right.
Like there was plenty enough back here, I think, to deal with the jet bikes anyway. I don't think the def dreads were necessarily required for it, and they were so much of their backboard threat projection.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I mean, I think we were talking before the game. Like this, like just matching up these two lists, this looked like it was going to be a blowout for the Harlequins. Like so much, like freely targeting anti-vehicle hatred in here.
We were already assuming that it was going to be in favor of the Harlequins, and the Orks had certainly put up a fight. I do think that there were potentially some misplays here. I think just literally gave up 3 points on engage on all fronts last turn. It is weird, like you mentioned, that the def dreads are so far away, despite these secondary picks being extremely aggressive and this style of orc list being extremely. I mean, it's just orcs. Like orcs just play aggressive. Like this is a list that can just like put race cars and a bunch of teleporting dudes in your back line and just be like, hey, what's up? Deal with this. And that what didn't happen, and we're seeing that reflected in the score right now, I think.
Okay.
So I'm actually impressed by this orc list. I think we've definitely seen how an interesting MSU style list like this can function and do well against the absolute cutting edge of the metagame. I think it's a list that has to be executed perfectly and get a little lucky, and I don't think that either of those has happened.
I think he did get a little lucky. And he got the roll to go first, and the Harlequins player probably didn't step on the gas as hard as he needed to on turn 1 to wipe out the scrap jets, which let the scrap jets trade up super hard. I mean, those scrap jets probably doubled to tripled their own costs.
Do 3 shots. 2 shots. 1 5. 1 decker. 2
yeah, I mean, there's MSU, and then there's MSU where orcs just bring 23 different units to the table. Which is like it's pretty MSU.
Yeah, it's MMSU. It's many multiple small units.
Yeah. I don't even know, like...
It's multiples of many small units.
Yeah.
Like, I've been having a good time with this, like, Orc Stompa list I've been playing lately, and that thing has 12 guns it shoots, and I don't know how I would do target selection into this. Like, that would take... I would time out on my first shooting phase, shooting 1 unit.
Oh my gosh.
Well, but to be honest, I still need to roll the damage, yeah.
Sure, you do. That's totally correct. Just want to stay on objective, but
Players joking a little bit here. We got a wound through on the Star Weaver.
They can't charge. Yeah.
From something it looks like, and
They can't shoot. They can't shoot Nevan, do they?
They can't. Yeah, they can't.
or the Orc player pointing out he hasn't rolled damage yet.
Yeah, but
Why are we bailing those guys out? We don't know how many wounds it has.
here, 2 on objective,
Negative numbers.
and a bit here.
He's got to make his death saving throw now.
Right. And rolling 5
Competitive
bounces.
wargaming, I agree. I also think
once
breachables
now.
may be a little bit overused currently.
Oh, 4.
It-
would be fine.
I
It creates a
just,
situation that, like
is
you
it
saw at the end of
overused, or
Age.
is it not powerful enough? Like, should just like breachable mean that anything can go through it as long as you can clear it or something? Like,
I mean that would be the obvious
Yeah.
other choice to use. It kind of doesn't make sense
Okay,
that like
A dude-
a guardsman can just
yeah. If you,
a guardsman.
I played last year
Like-
at Nova Open, and the ruin terrain
Being on
walls that they had
fives.
for their
Yeah.
standard layout
One
were a
hit,
unit of or a piece
one
of
wound.
insulation
It's
foam
always
that was
better
the
than
full
just
2 inches
Yeah,
thick.
yeah,
And I was like,
just
it is
two left.
weird that my
Yeah,
Gene
just
Stealer with no
one.
weapons can
Yeah.
go
I use my
Yeah.
entirely
slaves, so
through
one
this.
step.
Like who looks more like the Kool-Aid man, an Imperial Guardsman or a Great Unclean One?
Yeah.
Like which of them is likely to smash through a wall shouting "Oh yeah"
Yeah.
and like hand you a picture of a
Yeah.
nebulous substance you probably shouldn't drink because it's bad for you.
I absolutely believe that the issue is that Games Workshop is so top down that
Three
they think
shots.
that, like, if a tank were to go through a wall, it would
You
destroy the wall.
advance,
So they would
so
have
I
to
need
then
to
include
reroll
rules for
one.
destroying walls.
The
And you know
Daka.
that there's somebody in the community who would complain that that's
Two
not how it
hits.
worked if they made breachable work on
wounds.
vehicles.
Yeah.
Well, these death threats starting to do a number on
He
these
can't charge
players,
through the
actually.
wall. So he
No,
needs-
they are advanced anyway.
Oh,
that was
and they
anyway.
how are they able to see them?
Looks like this one on the
This
edge
one.
can he could peek through the last 2 on the
Yeah.
far side. Yeah.
So that's at least the end of that, unless he makes a charge, which I don't think he can make because they cannot advance a
He's on the
charge
charge
without the
rate,
Warboss
Yeah,
up there.
yeah,
War
they're
boss
just
to
saying that they
yeah.
can't charge up there this turn.
The Warboss could have been up there.
End of
Although I
the
guess he-
season,
Yeah, what does he do?
Wanted them to take out the
Yeah.
players here.
Oh, there's
I guess
players.
assaulting
I
4 players.
forgot, I forgot.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
it's SCP for...
Definitely want to kill those dudes.
I don't-
Give me an objective someday,
Does-
please.
Oh,
Yeah.
Maybe you can do.
I don't know. Like
No,
he's no longer Fist of Gorked, so I don't think he kills this unit.
Well, I also can shoot them. He's a bunch of just a bunch of shots, and you get the smash gun shots that have nowhere else
You
to
see?
go.
Never Overwatch.
He can't shoot them now.
6 hits.
He is he's punching them.
Oh, well, there you go. I guess he already shot.
5
Them.
hits. And wounding. Yeah.
Only kills 2. They're still on the objective.
3
No, that was
Oh, that was the okay.
that was the one.
Oh, look at that. A pleasant distribution there, though. But
so one's
unless
left.
they've
Yeah, we got a.
What? Why didn't we charge the smash guns? They have 6 attacks each. Their toughness 3. Not a non-trivial chance of picking them up.
Yeah,
Oh, those guys were prismatic blurred.
on a 6. You can-
Ooh, that's worse.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Well, maybe they kill the Warboss when he fights on death or something. I think it's mathematically impossible, but maybe.
Yeah, are these blade
I guess they
players?
have
or
eight.
Are they kiss players? Are they caress? Oh no, yeah, they were just 1 damage. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
if
So-
they convert 100%, they kill him. Yeah.
No, he
not-
actually has 9 wounds. He's the biggest boss.
Someone, -2.
He has
Yeah,
8 plus
Virulence,
1.
that actually would be sick. Like, what if the assault launchers on like Land Raider Crusaders, instead of having a terrible stratagem attached to them that
Yeah.
no one will ever use, they made terrain breachable?
He's
Ah,
Yeah, it's
that'd be
it's
so
a strange.
cool. What a missed
It's like a-
opportunity, GW.
I was actually thinking about that.
Damn.
Like, it is very
Wait
strange
for
because they
two.
used to have abilities that did that,
Yeah.
Oh,
and
wait,
it like over time they've.
'cause they are not
Games Workshop is this weird seesaw where they think their game is too
Okay.
complex and they remove all rules, but they leave in rules that make it still mathematically and mechanically annoying to play. And then they just go super hard and add them all back in at once, but then it's like it's very like unevenly applied.
Yeah.
So sometimes some armies have a million of them and some just don't get them for 4 years
Well,
because
we
of
don't
code
need
scheduling.
We don't need to go.
And
on
we're definitely in a
just one
downswing
kind
on
of
that.
thing.
Or I guess we're in a bit of an upswing with 9th. It feels like 9th is a little fluffier. Like the 8th edition codexes were very like cut and dry and mechanically simple. I mean, you play the Tyranids Codex, you
Yeah,
know that that's
then
just a
just
series
go
of
on.
pieces of math. So maybe we get those back in, but it does feel like they're very afraid of doing things that might force players to move terrain pieces or interact with terrain pieces in a way that like is annoying.
Yeah. Well, that would just assign it a keyword, right? You don't have to. There's nothing like physical on the table you have to do.
Yeah.
You just say you do it, and then it happens. I mean, there are stratagems like that exist in the game. There are multiple stratagems that add defensive abilities to terrain or remove them. But that'd be sick. That'd be so cool, actually. Oh my god. Too bad.
I mean, you could also couldn't you just as well put a piece on there that just says, like, oh, TFW crashed for me again. You could just say, this unit can move, like, you know, plow. This unit can move through terrain while moving. Because that's effectively the same thing.
You don't have to measure the vertical distance when moving through terrain or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. And it would still be more difficult for vehicles to interact with terrain because their bases are so big, right? So
yeah.
I think regardless...
Yeah, a Great and Clean one's not making a 2-inch wall.
Right, yeah. He's got
either
advance, and, you know, it's a whole thing. Yeah. Oh, well. So the players looks like discussing potentially talking the game out, but I think we're just going to play through it because it's going to resolve pretty quickly from here on out.
Yeah.
Looks like the Harlequins have moved into objective the space behind this ruin on objective 1 to grab that last deploy scramblers. So they did make it. They made it happen.
Do you not think the Orks can pull up like 50 points in the next turn?
I do not think that we can make up a 50-point deficit in the last round of the game.
So
they can maybe score 8.
Yeah, that was a 3 of them. You're a big boss.
Aren't
you a pessimist then? I feel like they can pull the 50-point turnout.
CP left?
Okay, great. Please explain.
Well, there's Orks have a stratagem called gain 50 points.
Just not for it to keep it in
it costs 2 CP. It gives you 50 points. And then they just have to score like a 3-point scramble or a 3-point engage.
If you start the game with, I mean, we only started with like 4 CP, but that means you get 100 points and you win.
Yeah.
In the first 2 turns.
Yeah, it's weird that it's a real mistake that he hasn't just used that every turn. I don't get it.
R.I.P. Yeah, unfortunately these players survived and have moved outside of the war boss's intervention range, so the Orks are gonna again score a 0-point primary. So yeah, they're just gonna get 5 points on primary, which is brutal.
Competitive? I don't like the obscuring, like not like letting you see a knight through a wall but not letting the knight see you back, because like the theory behind that is that it's so tall that you can just see it over everything, but it's just that works in the other direction too. It's so tall it can see everybody over everything. It's just such a strange like
it's like
addition.
An ant can see you from beneath its blade of grass, but you can't necessarily see that ant or notice that it's there. You know?
Maybe not notice it, but I can
like
see it. Like it's there.
So it looks like we're shooting at some death treads now. Pick those guys off.
Also, I will shoot an ant with a gun.
Shoot that ant with a gun.
On this gun here.
Get out of here, ant. But I agree, it is a weird rule. It's like it's weirdly
like kind of unnecessarily.
Unit. Yeah, like I don't know.
Like Titanic units are already bad enough just by the fact that they're functionally impossible to take without
sort of remove them from the meta. So why also then hit them with the core rolls?
And also, why have like the 18 wound cutoff?
Right.
If you have a classification called Titanic.
Titanic, yeah.
Like they just did that so that it wouldn't affect Magnus and Morty, but just give them the Titanic keyword. You already give them all of the abilities conferred by it on their data sheets. Just give them the keyword. It's such a strange set of decisions.
Oh, does he explode?
Oh. Picking up Death Treads here. Picking them up again. Maybe we pick them up a third time. Are we gonna drop that guy? No, we moved the mouse away.
Doesn't matter. Don't shoot
it. You'd extra think that like Titanic units would treat all terrain as breachable too.
Oh yeah.
Like if anyone's Kool-Aid Manning, if anyone's Kool-Aid Manning through this like this brick wall here is like a Warlord's Titan.
Knights have those little skinny bases too, so they can like they could actually like step over, like physically step over ruins and stuff. It would be sick. Oh well. In hindsight,
Troop Master is getting some work done here.
Yeah, I think the goal here is that we lock the Orc boys up and they can't fall back in the last turn. Not that it really is going to do anything, I don't think.
Is he surviving this?
Potentially.
Yeah, Yeah, probably. I mean, if he kills like
It looks
converts
like,
fully
I
and kills
think
like 10
I
of
think we
them.
might have prismatic lured him as well.
No,
So
other
he's a 3+.
charges
Yeah.
consolidating.
Yeah, he'll probably kill like
We're
8,
not really
7 or 8.
not
The
using
boys
our
aren't
close
set up to
proximity
get.
tokens, but we are spending CP, so it's going somewhere.
He's far from the boss knob. The boys are gonna lose like 20
Okay.
attacks just by being outside of
1.4.
range. Like you can only get like 5
So,
dudes to even attack
4
this guy
attacks
here,
today,
so he's
5 for him.
probably perfectly safe. Orcs don't kill
That's
stuff. That's like a fun little foible about the orc boy is that it has all these attacks, but they don't do anything.
Except against
there you
other
go.
orc boys. They're really good at killing each other.
7 dead.
7 dead.
Yeah,
And 2 more
That's
for
the
Morgan.
case. Yeah, orc boys are great against killing light infantry and nothing else.
Did I pick enough? 5.
That's 9.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so 7 through with the
And
sword, and
consolidating, so
then
you can-
darkness bite for another 2.
And then
Darkness Bite.
Raising there.
He's the angstiest boy.
I don't. I guess he wants to win the objective, but I don't like that pylon. That just gives him more attacks back.
Hello.
I think it means that the consolidate from the orcs has to pull them backwards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had to go backwards anyway, right? Because he was already.
Yeah, I guess so. This is conceptually.
He's
about this.
gonna be fine anyway.
I talk about this all the time, but conceptually, one of the things I don't like about GT is that a lot of it is denying your opponent points, and this is like a perfect example of it. Like the Harlequins player, I guess if this Troopmaster survives, there's the potential that he scores maybe 2 or 3 points out of it, but it doesn't matter. This is the finals, right? So your score doesn't matter. So the only thing that he's doing here is stopping the orc player from scoring points, but he's already won the game, so it doesn't. It's like spite, you know. I guess his sub-faction is called soaring spite.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, like this
makes
spite
total
is sky
sense,
high here. It's great.
Yeah, but it's sort of unnecessary, I guess.
You know what would help with that is the 6th turn.
Okay, I have 1,
You know,
2,
because
3,
you-
4, 5.
Yeah, it's really hard to
6,
make
7,
these like
8,
last gasp
9,
plays.
10,
Like you do it on
11.
turn 6, but you're gonna have so much less on the table at that point.
Yeah.
3 attacks each.
And how would you make up the time, right? Because doing a 6th turn adds like 5 more minutes to the game
Oh, man,
because
if
everyone's got to
only-
move their
if
like one
you-
remaining squad.
If only there's some way to make deployment take literally half the time it
Threes.
takes right now. If only.
Oh yeah,
One death
If only.
by
How could you?
reroll.
How could you do that?
I don't know, man.
Toughness? 4.
And maybe that would. Maybe you could do that after you know who's going first, and that could like
Uh,
mitigate
one
some of
death by
the
reroll.
power of like alpha
Both
striking
times.
stuff. Ooh.
3 amps.
Yeah, so he was prismatic.
You can know, though.
He takes 3 there. Yeah,
That
he's
was
okay.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
fine.
That
That's close with more than I thought, though.
He also pulled those boys exactly below 20 models. Unfortunate.
Oh. There we are.
Yeah, competitive wargaming. The Baneblade is really suffers for the
okay,
like for all the Titanic rolls. Like it can be shot from anywhere. It can't easily shoot
Yeah.
anything back. It has a hard time moving
Yep.
around tables because tables are so full of these like breachable terrain pieces. Like it cannot go anywhere. It's bigger than a kill
That's-
tank.
It.
Whereas the kill tank is what the
Your turn.
the kill tank's what the Baneblade wants to be.
0 points for you again.
Just as like pure efficiency piece. That's a little unwieldy, but
Inches here.
it's just the math just makes it work anyway.
Yeah.
Like, the units like that need to not be tricky. They just need to be efficient.
So final round of the game, 0 primaries for orcs again.
Rough.
They have
Okay,
2 for engage on the
shooting.
table potentially, or maybe 3 if
Death
there's more
crit
boss. Just
into your
decides
Star
to
Weaver.
just leave. Nah, he's gonna stay there, I guess. Could he have gotten to the table?
Yeah.
Oh no, not outside of 6.
Uh.
Yeah, no. So yeah,
Nothing. And
You could have on a advance and charge
another
with
death crit
ramming speed.
oh, if he charged something, yeah.
as
I
well
think so.
into
Oh, he's not a
Star
vehicle
Weaver.
though. Never mind. He could not.
Yep, sure.
1 death guy.
Although he could move twice.
One
He
death
is.
count.
Oh no, he's not Evil Sons. Never mind.
Yep.
As we discussed, Evil. See if he was in that other.
If only we had a death killer
would have
war
worked.
strike. There you go.
Damage. 5.
Like that thing probably just
Just
dies.
6,
I don't think that you take the Death Killer War Trek instead of a second
Uh,
bike boss. I think you just don't consider
The
the,
War Boss.
the
6
thing.
shots.
You just don't do it at all. You figure out a different
Well,
way
he's
to
still a
spend those
character,
points.
right? So like everything
Death
blocks
guy.
from the
2
death
death
guy.
guy.
Yeah. Well, he's not a. I don't know.
Yeah,
He's
he doesn't,
not
he doesn't
worth
have a
it.
sick
He's
and
not
normal
worth
save,
On
that's
your
for
players?
sure. And he does have
Yeah,
vehicle
I
keyword,
just-
which is awkward.
2 wounds.
I would just take another
Yes,
Mega Track
yes.
Scrapchat.
This
He's also one of your
was,
HQ choices, which
The
are
war
like
was
desperately important in
What
Orks.
was that? What is that?
And a Mega Track Scrapchat shoots twice as hard as that guy, hits twice as hard as that guy, costs 15 points less. It's harder to kill.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
All right, let's see
10,
this
11,
Troop Master
12,
die to slug of shots. I'm ready for it.
13 pistols.
Actually, that
Alright.
would be bad if that happened. I hope he doesn't die. Maybe don't take this attack,
on your
actually.
player. Troop Master.
Oh my god!
happens if-
What is
That's
that?
where we roll
Alright, there you go.
We get
And-
5 Dakas out of that?
5
Yeah.
times Daka.
Don't shoot him to
That's
death, though.
hitting
Leave him
your,
alive. Or I guess they
Why are you
just...
trying to leave him alive?
Because then they can consolidate over to get engaged if they survive.
5 times.
But I guess they could just charge the purple players and just hope they make it.
Oh,
Oh, he
I
died.
have to measure things.
Yeah, does he fights on death and he just like pulls all the right models? Yeah.
They only have a fight on
You
death.
mind
for
if I
silver
reroll?
settings.
I not declared it's a decision.
If you want in this situation, you can do this.
It's incredible to me that you know that.
Yeah, it's kind of important.
Well, you won't lose if you do or not. So.
Yeah.
All right, now they
Does he
rerolled
know
to-
that? Because he just...
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. I thought he was fighting on death there. Alright, never mind.
I'm not. It's not dead. Actually.
Yeah, he rerolled.
So
Reroll,
he
yeah.
rerolled his vulnerable
They
save
gave-
into a
they gave you the
success,
reroll.
and then removed the model anyway. I'm so confused.
let's
Okay,
go.
then
The Troop
we
Master
have
has
the
returned from the
charges.
druid.
What?
From the
We have the smasher gun here.
I mean, what's he trying to do? Just kill some Orks?
I
Just
think
stay
so,
alive
yeah.
for the fun of it?
The only player or the Star Wheeler?
I do
I
not
think
know.
it's
Yeah,
called one
let's
because Star
shoot
Wheeler-
let's shoot on the Star Weaver for the fun. 2 shots. Hitting on
All right, chat. So if
5.
anybody has any questions for the players, go ahead and
Awesome.
put them in chat. We'll have a discussion with them
Okay.
at the end of the game. Looks
Then the
like we're
charges, the war was into the
gonna be
player.
wrapping up pretty quickly here.
Yeah.
Throw them in there.
Then I spent 1 CP for the death
Apparently
threat.
an FAQ's coming this week for 40k.
2 CP, I mean.
I wonder what'll be in that.
Harlequins, everything goes up
charge
by
the players, the yellow
50%
players with
points.
3 dice.
And Tyranids, everything drops by 50%.
Well, this-
We just get all of the
It-
extra points.
Yeah, it's a 12
They'll add the requirement to use Games Workshop's like Army Builder app for all GT games.
on a 2 plus. Wait, I need 2.
The FAQ's Battle Scribe is
Can't get
removed
out,
from the
okay.
App Store.
On a 2 plus, you get mortar wounds. Yeah, how many mortar wounds? 2. The other death threat into your blue Star Weaver.
What would that
9.
do to the game? Like, would people just ignore it if they literally put into the
Okay,
2020 that you had to use that like
Then
a part of the
do
step would be to trade
fighting.
your like
so war boss.
and your list to the opponent, and then it just like uses the copyrighted
There.
term for the list generated.
People would.
That would
do
change
it.
the meta. That would change the meta so much because so many units don't have
Oh.
correct options in there, or are just like
Yeah.
missing
Yeah.
rules and abilities.
Yeah, the FAQ just says that whatever their stat line in the app says is what they
And the
have.
death
So you have, like,
threat into
whatever, the
your,
strength 66 shuriken
blue
cannons.
Star Weaver.
You have all these like strength S units
Yeah.
just hanging out.
What does that mean? Is it like strength D, like an old Apocalypse? Automatically wound everything. Some
3
weapons are
wounds.
A tier, but this is S
3
tier.
4-ups. Now it is dead. Explosion time. In 3. So 1 is dead.
Metaphor gaming, we're all
One
wondering that.
flame. He's not in 3.
That's quite a question.
So,
There are a bunch of things that he could have taken instead of Overrun.
This Death Tread charged into this Star Weaver and killed it. The other Death Tread ramming speeded into the unit of players over here and killed 3 of them. So this player unit has almost died just from mortal wounds before the Death Tread has gotten to attack it. Unfortunately, there's another player unit here to obsec, but we almost took the Orks almost took 1 objective. We were close.
Nobody died. Oh, the 5 anyway. No, there's 6. Yeah, so.
Man, these Death Treads are sick. They're so
Depends
cool.
on the army you're
Not
fighting.
death threat.
I mean, they're sick in this scenario because it's like they're not even the first shot. I mean, I think you
Yeah.
shoot the scrap jets before you shoot them.
Yeah.
So it's like
Being your last
in this like
player.
ultimate MSU style, their weakness of the fact that they're like
Yeah.
not
3
6
wounds.
bring it down points by themselves after they launch
Safe.
drop.
Mm-hmm.
That you
Safe.
guaranteed you're gonna lose, and they're not super easy to get full
he
value
lost.
back on unless your opponent's bringing a lot of no invuln vehicles.
So
Okay.
activating my troop
But if
master.
they get multiple turns of shooting,
yeah.
they just like they make money.
Yeah.
10 attacks now.
Yep.
Round 5. Are we? Yeah, we're round 5.
Yeah, we are.
Round 2s. Reroll to move.
The choreographer of war coming in clutch
8.
there. Converts
-3
5
damage.
full attacks off the troop master.
Come on. Kills 8. 2 mortal wounds he does.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yep, not going to.
Ugh, this dude is paying for himself.
Yeah, that's
which is
the Twilight Fang troop master is gross.
How is it?
so he's killed 168 points of boys so far. That'll probably be more after they fail their leadership check.
Oh, you're-
Is there anything that doesn't dramatically trade up against boys points wise?
Grots?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What does
probably
it
because
say
they're like
on-
the exact same cost for some reason.
Yeah, just like guardsman equivalent units get pummeled by them.
No, not actual guardsmen. Actual guardsmen ruin orcs. You give them catch-in, you throw like a priest next to them, and they'll kill an entire orc
I
squad.
start with the boss. 4 takes.
Like you use the order to fight again.
That order
Death Guard.
that never really
No.
works. You have to be in
Warning
the
on
fight
twos.
already engaged in the fight phase
One
and the
wound.
shooting phase for that to
Yeah.
go. So like
Same.
the boys have already
I have-
attacked and killed them all.
Yeah,
the
maybe.
boys.
But they can definitely
So wait.
like they can fight pretty hard against them, sure.
These are like your one base attack, the one for the priest. Their strength 4 off of Catechin. Getting rerolls.
Gorscott says plague bearers. That might be true. They're very expensive. And they only have one
Is it
attack.
Plague Bearers?
Yeah.
That depends. If you've got the full Plague Bearer combo set out, which is a lot harder to do now than it was in 8th, where they would just pump out like 15 mortal wounds on their attack.
So we gotta do
But I mean, like the Plague Bearer is the
multiple-
same cost as an Orc. They're both like 8 points, right? So
We got a 1.
all they have to do is just kill one each. Which isn't super hard to do if you get the right stat buffs in
My
there.
player hitting back.
The boys are not killing them back.
Death Dread.
Yeah, 9 points.
1 minus.
If you've got 20 in there, then they're hitting on
Minus 2.
they're hitting on -1. They have a
Got it.
T5, so they're winning on 5s.
So-
No, they're T4.
Yeah, they said they're
Oh,
4.
okay.
Yeah, I always forget they're 4 for whatever reason. They're like, oh, we get the +1 toughness, but it's from 3, so it's like, who cares? But I mean, but you can like warp surge them. They're on a 5-up and feel no pain.
Final turn. Maxing.
Ironically, bloodletters probably don't trade up super hard into boy. Oh, they do if you do the full.
Movement. Spending
all the bomb
CP
stuff.
for auto
We will get
advancing them
engaged
6
this turn
inches.
for the orcs.
Yeah, just for your engage. It's
Yeah,
fine.
that. He disengaged just for a reason.
Necron warriors
So
probably
guys
don't trade very well into them.
Yep.
GG.
GG. Thanks.
All right, that's gonna be it. Hey, thanks, guys. Interesting game. Definitely, we were excited to see the orc list on the table. We were pretty sure that Harlequins would be a tough matchup for it, and that turned out to be true. But it definitely felt that the orcs, still had their foot in the door, at least in the early game. They were able to do a lot of efficient damage. How'd you guys feel about that matchup?
Well,
Yeah. They were different.
I knew that Harlequin is really hard against my vehicle list here, and I was pretty unlucky on my shooting sometimes because the Star Weaver, I think I have like 2 or 3 Star Weavers with 1 HP left
Mm-hmm.
flying around, and well, that could have changed a lot for me, but yeah, stuff happens. That was the only door I could use, killing the Star Weavers early.
Yeah, to strand the fusion pistols back there, and then make them easier to pick up later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well,
Go ahead.
was hard to show my Star Weavers. If you got lucky with your shooting, you just kill them. I have to be patient and just hide them behind buildings. Made a few mistakes that you can get shots at first. Just played my game, and I think Davit would be better if he dropped his dreads back here. That was one reason why I kept my vehicles back the first couple of turns, because if the dreads are in my backfield and he's advancing slowly with his scrap jets and stuff and can hit me in my zone, we will be in a hard game. But luckily for me, he tried to defend this objective there, and yeah, could have turned the table this way. Shows now.
Yeah, we were definitely expecting them to come down in the backfield and pick off a couple of those Star Weavers. The danger is the fusion pistols, but it seems like you're always gonna eventually have to deal with those players, so you might as well just like hope your 6+ invulnerable saves go well, I guess.
Yeah.
We did have a question from the chat asking about the pick of Overrun on the secondary objectives. It seemed like, especially given how the game went, and if the shooting got a little bit luckier against the Star Weaver, something like Bring It Down could maybe have been better. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, true that, of course. I mean, if I point on Overrun, then I will probably be in front anyway, because then I have his side. Yeah, Overrun was not the best pick. True that, but yeah, Bring It Down is not that easy against the vehicles, because the main problem Orks have is the shooting. Well, they don't shoot that bad at the moment because of the custom jobs you have and stuff like this, but against the Harlequins you get -1 on everything, right. And pretty half my output.
Right. Yeah, that's brutal. I was also interested in the deploy scramblers for Barkeeper.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen Harlequins take that. Usually it's like a while we stand or something like more passive. Do you take that very often?
Yeah, I usually use it. It's more safe than while we stand. Especially while we stand, I have to pick 2 cars to get while we stand. So usually I get 10 points anyway, because I have to sacrifice cars.
And the troop master just throws himself. Or it's the Shadow Seer, right? The Shadow Seer gets it.
The Shadow Seer, yeah. I can more offensively use my characters, or just options. Yeah, and Scramblers is quite good with the stratagem to redeploy 1 infantry unit. You can do it late in the game.
Yeah, that's what we were kind of assuming would happen, but it turned out that this purple squad was a champ.
Yeah, they're just there to use the opportunity.
Yep. Yeah, I guess it makes sense, like seeing the game play out. Obviously, it's difficult to kill players once they bail out of the Star Weaver. Like, not a lot of armies can do that. So it makes sense that you would have like one unit just sort of that randomly gets to the enemy deployment zone by turn 5 anyway.
Yeah.
So that
most of the time, armies in this edition play KG. So even if they kill your vehicle, you can deploy scramblers. They're standing behind obscuring terrain or something. Then you can hide them, bring them back, deploy scramblers again, and then turn afterwards you can do this again.
Yeah.
Most of the time it works fine. And you got your CP every turn, so it's true. And we can't do anything against it.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, cool, guys. I think that's all. Unless we have any more input from the chat, I think that's everything. So I'll go ahead and... do you have any more thoughts, Shima?
No, I thought it was a pretty well played game. I was very scrappy. Like, I think we were mentioning to each other before it started, like, we were expecting eventually it did eventually tip towards the Harlequins, but I think we were expecting a much harder tilt immediately, because so much of the Harlequin line is good at killing these light vehicles. But it ended up being a much scrappier game towards the beginning and middle than was suspected. Like, the sheer damage the scrap jets were putting out over those first couple of turns was enormous.
Yeah.
That made me think twice.
Yeah. Davit, do you think that were you to re-rack and play the matchup again, you would potentially be more aggressive, specifically with the boys squad? Because you have so much kind of backfield presence, especially with the war boss, who's like this, just this like god-made flesh, and all the race cars, especially the scrap jets that are okay in melee, to start dealing with the Skyweavers. I feel like turn 2 or something, you had the weird boy available to rocket those guys up the table and start, potentially scoring those overrun points or knocking the Star Weavers out of the sky. Would that be part of your game plan?
Well, my biggest mistake in this game was to let him kill my weird boy, to be honest.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's
that-
unfortunate.
I didn't see this, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
that
wanted
was
I wanted this voice in the early game in my backfield to, with my beard boy to buff him to get a big smite and something like this, you know.
Mhm.
And once I have handled this Sky Weavers, and then I would just jump them away and have enough time to still point in his deployment zone.
yeah.
Yes, I see the opportunity to kill its weird boys was #1 priority. Just go there and
Yeah, you did well. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, as soon as you can get to jump off the table, it's like this big sigh of relief, like all right,
Yeah.
we can
Ooh,
play.
really,
We can play
relief.
again. Yeah,
Would it be worth it instead of the Big Mech with Force Field, to take the patrol detachment just as a grot, like the grot detachment, which then gives them all a 6-up invuln anyway with reroll 1s, and then instead of the Big Mech, you just take another Weird Boy?
Yeah, I usually use a Grot detachment for the Smasher guns, but this time I wanted to use an Evil Sons for just using the stratagem for this Death Copters
Mhm.
to let them move again after shooting. Yeah, but
We figured that's probably why you took it, but I mean, if you're starting the game with 3 CP, that feels like that's kind of a... It ends up being... Probably ends up being pretty hard to justify the expense.
yeah, of course. I just used them, I think, in the second match or the first match for way blocking this, and was really good for me. But yeah, in this matchup, I can't really move block this all flyers. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
just you jump them first turn, just in my face, on my right flank on your left, to just engage the.
Yeah, but I never gamble on a 9-inch charge. Yeah.
But
Yeah, if you're not-
even if you stay there, they're just dangerous to me. I can't kill them actually. Nothing to deal there with them. I have to commit my bikes and stuff, which I
If
need
you
for the cars.
If you swap the boys into the Evil Sons detachment, then you could just jump them and like swap the grots back over. You could just jump them with the +1 2 charge,
Yeah,
and they do still benefit from the force field as well.
And actually, you most of the time you don't advance and charge them. You don't need a boss.
Yeah, I mean the boss doesn't even give advance and charge to infantry anymore.
Oh, so
Yeah, the bike boss is vehicle and bike only now.
ooh.
Yeah, it's the only thing they got worse on him. Otherwise, his stat line just got drastically better. And actually, I think it's still a buff because the war boss giving vehicles advance and charge, which he did not previously, just means you don't have to take the trike anymore, which was always kind of a tax. Like that was a pretty bad unit for cost for that ability.
Yeah,
So
true.
I think there's no reason to take them as death guns. So
Yeah.
could be a possible improvement to your list.
It also gives the war boss a +3 inches on his own threat range because he gives +2 to his. I guess you could if you swapped him over to the Evil Sons because then he is 22-inch base move.
Don't need the evil scars rerolls or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is then I need to. He's there for giving advance and charge on
Sure,
the
yeah,
vehicles,
Yeah, to the scrap jets.
and I don't want the scrap jets to be Evil Sons.
Yeah,
And
no,
then-
that definitely makes sense.
Yeah, they need to be death guns. They're so
Yeah,
reliable, except
Yeah.
against Harlequins, but usually they're so reliable at shooting.
All right, cool guys. Well, I've input your score in, so you guys are all set.
Thanks.
Barkeeper, congratulations on your win. A well-deserved one it was. And Davit, it was awesome to see this list in action. I think we were pretty excited about it. And like we said before, I mean, it's a tough matchup, and some stuff didn't go your way, but it definitely feels like even against kind of what is very much the upper echelon of the competitive scene, it's got some teeth. So really impressed by the race cars.
Yeah, it's pretty funny there.
Yeah.
I got scared of them.
What's that?
They're scary.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. The one scrapjack going in and just like rocketing through an entire player unit, essentially just with mortal wounds, was like, ooh, wow, look at this guy go.
Yeah. Well, I like this orc gameplay. And if you are lucky, you just kill everything, and if you are unlucky, you just do nothing.
Yeah.
You need to have some kind of character for that. Yeah.
Yeah, really. They perfectly encapsulate 9th edition 40k. All together. Just roll good, and you win. Nail it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. But
Yep.
thanks for the game. It was a good one to watch, and hopefully we'll see you around in future events.
Yeah,
You're
sure.
welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks. Yep. Bye.
All right, everybody. That's going to be it for this stream. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. It was a fun orc list to play, and the Harlequins put up a good fight. Obviously, they're super good, so that's like where we're at. I will be back online tomorrow. I have just heard that 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is about 20 hours from now or so. Yeah, that's about right. We will be live again with another finals, the Pod 23 finals. We're knocking these pods off real quick, and I'll just pull up the matchup for that real quick. That is Doots, a stream regular, who and one of my very favorite people, who is playing, survey says, Chaos. Let's see what brand of Chaos. Oh, he's back on his Thousand Suns plus Demons list. So we got some Magnus action going, so that's going to be sick. And then on the other hand, we have Deneth from the Normal Bokes podcast, another Season 1 Invitational finalist, and he plays cool lists. He always plays cool lists. And he's coming in with Deathwatch this time. We got some Proteus kill teams, a bunch of Stormbolters, some classic Deathwatch happening. So I think that's going to be awesome to watch. I'm very excited about that game. So tune into that, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. And keep it classy, folks.